I'll call this Bang Bang. Seriously?
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. Pull up, bitch.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up.
Objection. Objection.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. KO. Bang bang.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. You're a bitch, bro.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up.
Bang, bang.
Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
All right, Mr. 𝗲𝗃, your next witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor, the Commonwealth calls Trooper Michael Proctor to the stand. Please state your name and spell your last name for the jury.
Michael Proctor, 𝗺𝗃𝗺𝗃𝗺.
You're a bitch, bro.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang, bang.
My name's Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtle Boy.
Is a senior editor for Turtle Boy Daily News.
I'm a big fan.
We've broken hundreds of stories that the mainstream media won't touch.
Some blogger in Massachusetts who's getting to the bottom of this better than anybody.
Why is it Turtle Boy that is covering such important issues? Where is the rest of the media?
You did not say that you were gonna take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby.
Stop it.
Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do.
I know you do.
People don't like the things that I say and want me to stop saying them, but I won't. I'm never gonna stop. These are the kind of stories that must be told.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Noise. Go, baby, we bringing out toys. Boys, chop up the singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this. So it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom.
You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. Woo!
Tick, tick, boom.
Yo, what's up, turtle people? Can you guys hear me okay out there in Turtle Land? Audio check, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Let me turn this up a bit. Is this a little low? Can you guys hear me okay? Hopefully you can. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the live show, ladies and gentlemen. I am your fearless host. My name is Aidan Kearney. You can call me a variety of names if you'd like. Uncle Turtle Boy will do. Old school turtle riders are known to call me that. You know, you can call me, you can even call me
Listen, Turtle. All right.
You can call me Listen Turtle if you want. You can call me Dr. Turtle Boy. That's actually my preferred pronoun. You can call me, what else can you call me? You can call me Daddy. It's weird for some people, but fun for others. So that will do. Dr. Daddy, also permissible. You can call me 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 Kearney. That is my true crime name. When I put on my leather jacket and go deep in the woods, solving murder mysteries deep in my thoughts. You can call me Journalism Jesus if you'd like. I don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. and make sure you smash that subscribe button. How many subscribers are we up to now? Let's see. Let's find out. And I don't know if I got like retweeted by like a big account on Twitter, but I picked up like way over 1,000 Twitter followers today. I'm up to 122,887 subs. I bet you we can get that to 123 by the end of this episode. I mean, how many people we got out there right now? We got let's see. We got 4,300 people watching on the YouTube streets. And I bet you at least 113 of you have not hit that subscribe button. It don't cost nothing. It's free. Smash it right now. Let's see. I'm going to refresh it. So let's see what it's up to. Refresh. 122,898. We just picked up 11, I believe that. 11. Yeah. Let's do it again. Get over 900. 908. Look at that. We are 92 away from 123,000. Can we do it? Should I hit refresh? Let's do it. 919. We're 81 away. We're 81 away from 123,000. There are 4,600 people watching right now. We just need 81 of you that haven't hit the subscribe button to do it right now. Let's do it. Ready? 932. We're now 68 away. 68. It's just like that. We can do it. 68 away. So we got 4,781 people watching. We just need 68 people. Let's refresh. See what happens. 953. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. We're 47 away. Yeah, give us an acknowledge button, will you? Yeah, give us a big acknowledge button, too. That helps. We're not calling it the like button anymore. It's the acknowledge button in honor of Bukkake. All right, let's refresh this. 953. 981. We are 19 away. 19 away from cracking 123,000. Do I dare hit refresh? Let's see what happens. 988. We're 12 away. We are 12 away from cracking. We got over 5,000 people tuned in already. Can we get to 123,000 if I hit refresh? 991. Ooh, we're 9 away. 9 away. 5,100 people watching. I guarantee 90 of you have not hit the subscribe button. I'm going to do it. Ready? We did it. 123,000. We're done. Getting close to 125, and then you're getting close to 150 at that point. And next thing you know, we're at, we're at 200. So anyway, glad to be here tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened to me today. There was a lot of misinformation going on the interwebs about me. Some people were very concerned about me. I appreciate that. You guys are so concerned about me. But I'm good. I'm good. Just more bullshit. Just more bullshit. Nothing new, but I'm still here. You know, they may try to take me away. They may put me in jail again. I don't know. I can't control that at this point. I hope not. I really don't want to go to jail. I fucking hate jail. It's like the worst. Like, I really don't like jail. I much prefer being free. It's way better. But you know how the boys do. They're not known for being honest. But if you guys want to have your messages read out loud to the class tonight, you can click the link at the top for Turtle Chat. You can pay whatever you want, at least $5. You know, don't be a weirdo. You can pay $5, and then you can say whatever you want, and I will read your message out loud to the class. Or you can cash at me at $Uncle_Turtleboy. And yes, I did do the media lottery bright and early today, 9 o'clock. I got it in, and we'll see tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow. If I don't make like at least the alternates tomorrow, I mean, what the fuck? That's like, come on. If that little rat fuck 𝗵𝗵𝗺 makes it again. Oh. All right. Anyway, let's see what we got so far. Today is the 13th, right? All right. And by the way, my Cash App is $Uncle_Turtleboy if you prefer that way. Samantha sends $10 and goes, okay, so Brian Higgins doesn't work for Canton Police. Why would he be the Canton Police valet plow bitch? Yeah, I mean, nothing about his story makes any sense. Why wouldn't he do it earlier when he was sober? And like, if he didn't move the cars around, like, would anyone give a shit? Like, oh, you fucked everything up, Higgins, by not coming here in the we were really counting on you to come here in the middle of the night and move those cars around that you didn't apparently move at all. Like, that appeared to be a lie. Oh, we got a long way in the trial to go. If Kara Reed's going to be the one calling these McAlberts up, which I think she should, there's no need for Chris. There's no need for Colin. You know, if they're not going to push that angle, there's no need for Julie. Although the gift thing with Julie could be interesting. Let's see if she says Bukkake again. But you know, if they're definitely Brian. I mean, you got to call Brian Albert and Nicole. She's the weak link. I'm telling you. That bitch is about the crack. About grill her about the dog. I want to know what town. What town did you meet this dog person in that you met him up with, that you gave your dog away to? Where? How'd you get there? I want to hear all about it. Tell me the details about it. Tell me more about giving away Chloe. You know, I know that Karen's not too big into the dog. She just thinks that, like, you know, I know we're all into the dog, and her philosophy has always been like, if Chloe's dead, if Chloe's alive, what difference does that make? He was still bit by a dog. You know, what good is it going to be? Like, what the fuck, you know? And I'm starting to think Chloe's alive. I do think, I thought Chloe was dead for a long time, but I think they just gave her away to somebody and were like, never wanted, like one of those, like, no visit adoptions, like one of those things, and just make it whatever. Cause they care more about a dog's life, I think, than they do a human being, because they are shitbags. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying, but yeah, Higgins sucks. All right, next up, K-Mac sends $25 and says, I will hold the Glaire's hand when you tell him it is the same fucking shoe. Okay. No comment on the shoe. Thanks. Samantha sends another $10, goes, he turned the lights on to reflect against the snow to try and hide what he was grabbing. I mean, that's pretty devious if he actually did that. I mean, that's like, you got to test that out. You got to know. I find that far-fetched. It worked. Just a thought, because why did he turn the lights on just before accessing the other SUV? I have a lot of questions that need to be answered, because he did not move any of those cars. And I just have questions. And also, why are we getting this now in the second trial? Where was this for the first trial, these videos? And like, that could have been used in a Rule 17 motion for Higgins' phone. He's on the phone there. He's like right there. You said you weren't on the phone. You're on the phone. How do you get, like, we need that, you know, we need that. But yeah, he had an office there for some reason, because Ken Berkowitz like wanted to fuck him so bad. And yeah, why lie about it? I mean, the innocent people don't lie this much. They just don't. And when they get caught lying, they have better explanations for their lies, other than it wasn't me. That's their whole, oh, it says right here, you had a phone call at 2:22 a.m. Wasn't me. Butt dial. Wasn't me. Okay. Anyway, so back to this. Let me refresh this. Christine sends $10, goes, we need a new DA. Vote for Craig McClellan, running against Meatball Morrissey, September 26th. That would be 2026 though, right? Not this year. And yeah, we do. But I need to start seeing Craig McClellan. If I'm going to take him seriously as a candidate, he needs to be out there. All these people do. They need to be down there at like using the Karen Reed case as their reason for running. Like that needs to be the centerpiece of running. It's the biggest fucking story. And it's the Free Karen Reed movement is much more popular than the Michael Morrissey is awesome movement. So we need to be, they need to be all over that. They need to start raising money, having fundraisers, all that shit. And they need to rally behind one candidate that can defeat him in the primary, because it's not going to be a Republican. It has to be a Democrat. So it has to be a Democrat that primaries him and takes him out that way. So anyway. And yeah, definitely the Sandra Birchmore thing should be brought up too with him, because like, your office still hasn't charged William Farwell yet, or Matt Farwell, or William Farwell for that matter. But Matt Farwell, the FBI did, but you guys haven't for some reason. What's up with that? Let me call him out on that. Thank you. Okay. Let's see. Kathleen sends $7 and says, I wonder how many people are in jail that are innocent in Massachusetts. I wonder that myself. Everybody I met in jail happened to be innocent. It was so weird. But they all have a story, but I understand some are just scumbags probably, and they're actually guilty. But, makes you wonder like how many people who are actually in jail are like me and are just innocent. And a lot of the guys I heard in there that were like, a lot of them are in there for domestic shit. With what women say that you hit them and that's it. That's it. And I'm sure some men do hit women and they should be held accountable for that. But I think some don't too and are blamed for it and are innocent. I don't know. I think that. And I just feel like an accusation should not get you. An accusation should never put anyone in jail. Anyone. Like that should never be a thing where just an accusation is sufficient to put someone in jail, which is basically what the entire Karen Reed investigation is based on, is Jennifer McCabe's word. Like that's what one thing we've learned from this more than I think we learned from the first trial, is that Jennifer McCabe's word is the nexus of all of this shit. All right, next up. Let's see. Higgins decorated beer muscles sends $10 and goes, imagine how retarded you'd have to be to sit on a grand jury and watch a video of a man dancing in a window and think, yes, that's witness intimidation. Every single one of them is a fucking disgrace. Free Turtle Boy. Thank you for that. And I feel the same way. It's like, how do you not, like, that is a joke. We're going to talk again. Let's just fucking watch what I got the videos right here. I was indicted today. We're going to talk about that, how my day went, all this shit. But we need to see what exactly I was indicted over. Okay. So March 4th, we go to CF McCarthy's for a meal of food, and I stumble outside with Will the Glarer, and I just start looking into Chris Albert's pizza shop because there's this blinking light that I'm like fixated on. I'm like, whoa, blinking light. And I've had too many sangrias, and I'm like, okay. So I just start staring at this light. And then Will comes over and like, hey, let's do the T-Rex arms thing, and you'll see. And we do a comedy bit. And neither of us had any idea that we were being audio recorded, because why would we? Why would we think that when we went by a pizza shop that everything we said was being listened to by Chris Albert? Why would we think that? All right. And this is what happens. Okay. Because again, a grand jury, that's a great point. A grand jury actually, watched this video you're about to watch, decided that, yeah, that guy should be indicted. Let's watch what happens. Is there sound? Can you guys hear this? Oh boy. See, I don't know what's going on. Like what? This is a joke. I mean, we were indicted for this shit. Like what? Oh my goodness gracious. Really? Like, and you can't even hear what I'm saying. I mean, that's it. Okay. So that's one angle, and you can't hear much that I'm saying there because the microphone for that camera is apparently on the inside. Well, the outdoor one has the microphone on the outside. And let's watch what happens here. A little too much to drink. Got to go easy on the sangrias, I guess.
You're like a dog with a ball. I can't. Oh my God, Mom. Wait, come here. You gotta do the where I.
No, Will did not get indicted.
And you talk. I said, what have you done?
Did you hear what I said? I said Peter Berger misses you. He wishes he was alive today. This is a comedy act. He's two guys playing grab ass, talking to a fucking window in an empty store, and we have no idea that we are being audio recorded. I recognize that there's video here, and the T-Rex arms are what makes the video funny. Like I was just blah blah blahing. I'm hammered. I don't even know what I'm saying, but I'm not talking to anyone. I certainly had no intention to speak to Chris Albert. And I don't even so I say that, I said that Peter Berger wishes he was alive today. You know, why did you kill him? And then in court, in the charging documents, and I'm sure we're going to see at the grand jury, Tully probably presents this as saying that he's talking about John O'Keefe. Like, why'd you kill John O'Keefe? That I'm harassing him and accusing him of killing John O'Keefe, which is not what I'm saying at all.
Would you? Why did you do that, Chris?
Why did you do that, Chris?
Chris, why did you tell the jury?
Why did you tell the jury?
When you got home. Why did you say that you went upstairs and that there were 15 minutes before Judge Mark? And then Colin came out. It means Colin didn't make it home until at least 12:45. It was Colin, Chris. I just want to know. I mean, you don't want to. I just want to know why it took Colin so long to get to your house. Why, Chris? Can you tell me why? Okay, that's all I want to know. You can tell me, sir.
I said, if Colin did it, it's okay. You can tell me. Like, I'm talking, it's a fucking comedy bit that I'm doing. I'm not actually speaking to him.
You can tell me. I know you didn't do it, but I don't want to scare you, okay? I'll Jill to keep your hands to yourself, too. Hey, everyone be nice. Yeah. Hey, well, no, I'm gonna send you that.
At some point, we do this funky G thing. Like, you know, let me see what I got here. I have the other video where like I'm like throwing gang signs or some shit. Not real gang signs. Like a joke. All right, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. This would have been around March 6th, right? Let's see. Is this the right one? No, I've already seen that one. Okay, give me 1 sec. I got to find this. Hold on. Hold on. I think I got it in here somewhere. What's this one? Okay, so here's the third one, I think. This is where we're like fucking around. This is when the grab assing starts, I think.
So, man.
So I take a selfie. I guess selfies are witness intimidation now. Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get this.
No one was there. Like, I mean, this is what your tax dollars are paying for. This is why your kid's kindergarten teacher lost her fucking job. Because these clowns are using your tax dollars to indict me for this, for whatever the fuck that is. That's a crime, and you're absolutely right, person who sent that turtle chat. I blame the grand jurors who took part in this. Like, how fucking retarded are you? How fucking retarded do you have to be to look at that and be like, yeah, that's probable cause for witness intimidation. Like, any normal person looks at that and is like, that's a fucking joke. Why am I'm really here right now listening to this presentation from this elderly man, this fucking geriatric loser, Bob Cosgrove, triple dip Bob Cosgrove. He's not collecting enough off the taxpayers right now. And so I can't wait to get the grand jury minutes from that. So we were indicted for this today. So what that means is I was already charged for this. That happened on March 4th. I woke up the next day. I had my motion to dismiss hearing. It was a big day. Hungover as a mofo. And, I'm like, okay, at least it's not till the afternoon. I got plenty of time here I was going to go to the Karen Reed federal case, but I slept in too much. It was one of those mornings. And so we got to Dedham later on, and I'm preparing for the motion to dismiss hearing. And I'm like, I see on Twitter that I have been charged with witness intimidation again in Stoughton District Court. I'm like, what the fuck happened in Stoughton? And it's like, well, that's where that's Canton's District Court. And I'm like, okay. What? So this must have been something from last night. What the fuck happened last night? What happened? And then I'm like, wait a minute. Did we fuck around Chris's pizza shop? Did we do something? What do we? And then I'm like, oh, I think we did and it came back to me. I'm like, oh, we did like a little act there. And I'm like, that can't possibly be it. That can't possibly. There's no way they're charging me over that. And it was. And then we read the police report, and Tully's like wanted me arrested over this shit. Like, this is how you know these people are corrupt. The lengths that they're willing to go to charge me with the crime over nothing, but yet they will look the other way for everything Brian Higgins and Brian Albert and Colin Albert do. All of it. They just look the other way. And Chris Albert illegally wiretaps me in that. And The chief of police says she can't investigate it because Chris is her boss. And so she will refer this to the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, who is also conflicted because it's me, right? And Chris Albert's one of their witnesses. They're not going to charge him with a crime. And it's not going to happen. And so you wonder how these people can get away with murder. This is how. They run the fucking town. They run the county. It's like, are you kidding me? So I'm glad people can see the ridiculousness of it all. My lawyers are going to have a field day with this. I can't wait. And so we don't even, my lawyers were not even alerted to this. They were not even told that I had to break the news to them because I saw it on Twitter. Million people started messaging me about it. And I'm like, what? I've been indicted? And then I look it up. I'm like, is this the 𝗬𝗨 shit? Is this the comments about 𝗬𝗨? And I look it up and it's like, oh, it's the window intimidation. Oh, I've already been charged for that. And keep in mind, when I was charged for this, they attempted to revoke my bail at my arraignment 2 weeks later. And the judge specifically told them your chance to revoke his bail was 2 weeks ago. It's too late now. I'm not revoking his bail. And so I dodged a bullet on that one. I was so nervous going into that. I'm like, holy shit, they're going to revoke my fucking bail. Holy shit. And I'm like, okay. I guess I'm good there. But now they want to indict me, or they did indict me. And I still don't even understand what an indictment means because I've already been charged for this. It's just a different court. And this court, you get a 12-person jury instead of a 6. And in this court, you get, what else do you get in this court? You can get more time. The maximum penalty went from 2.5 years to 10 years. So, not that I'm not going to be convicted, so it doesn't matter. For that, you're going to be, if you get convicted for that, that's just insane. And 12 is better for me. You're right, Richie. But no, they'll never convict me. I mean, are you kidding me? After watching that, that's a joke, an absolute joke. And it is scary that, that these people are allowed to do this with a straight face. And what do these fraud media, you'd think that the media outlets would look into this and see what actually happens. This is the Boston Globe. Let's see what the Boston Globe says about this, shall we? Blogger known as 𝗃𝗏𝗺 indicted on latest witness intimidation charge. Okay. Now, I've already been charged for this. So all I care about is bail revocation. That's it. I don't care about a charge. I'll beat all these charges. These are I just can't go to jail again. That would suck because I was never convicted of a crime, yet I went to jail. And I'm never going to be convicted of a crime, so I shouldn't go to jail ever. But they can put you in jail. They can just revoke your bail. And so the Boston Globe says, blogger known as 𝗃𝗏𝗺 indicted on latest witness intimidation charge. A Norfolk County grand jury indicted Aidan Kearney, the controversial blogger. No, actually, bitch ass Travis Anderson, who wrote this. Who's Travis Anderson? I gotta find him. Travis Anderson, Boston Globe. What does he look like? Oh, he looks like a chode. Okay. I gotta find Travis and have a conversation with him. But anyway, he says that I am a controversial blogger. I'm actually not. I'm actually a journalist, according to Judge Doolin. But I digress. Kearney was indicted on 2 counts of witness intimidation for allegedly targeting Chris Albert, a Canton business owner and selectman, and his son Colin Albert in early March, according to legal findings. That's it. That's all they have in here. Not like the fact that he went. Why don't you do your job, Travis Anderson? Why don't you actually say what I'm charged with? Why don't you look into this? The charge appears to revolve around a video in which Kearney is doing a comedy act into an empty window. Why does Travis Anderson not explain this? This is why you can't get your news from these fake news outlets that don't tell the truth. These are the people that wouldn't tell the truth about Karen Reed forever. They're just it's fake news. This is fake. A Superior Court arraignment date hasn't been set. He remains free on bail. Okay. not guilty, several, whatever. He's loudly championed her. Then they talk about the Kearney case. The two newest charges concern an incident in Canton on March 4th. According to a police report. Note, this is what they do. According to a police report. Not like we watched the video and here's what happened. It's all these journalists are trained to do is go down to the courthouse, get police reports, get court filings, and blindly report what they say, as opposed to actually looking into it and seeing what the fuck's going on. So it says, according to a police report, 𝗃𝗃 provided video footage of Kearney placing his face next to the front of the glass window and speaking into a camera. It was Colin, Chris, the report quotes Kearney as saying, in part, referring to Colin Albert, who Kearney accused of playing a role in O'Keefe's death. And by the way, why am I charged with Colin in this? If they're claiming that I addressed 𝗃𝗃 with my little skit there, then why is Colin Albert the one? Why is he being charged? Why? You just get to throw him in? And by the way, this means that Colin and Chris had to have testified in front of the grand jury and went in front of them and, like bitches, went on there and said that they were scared. 𝗃𝗃 so scared of Widow Turtle Boy, the guy that said he was going to beat my face up and down the sidewalk. Not so tough when he goes in front of the grand jury. All of a sudden, the tough guy facade is gone. All of a sudden, it's, you know, oh, I'm so scared of Turtle Boy. Turtle Boy hurt my feelings. Turtle Boy make me so sad with his mime act with the 𝗃𝗃. He make me so sad. He come up my window. He sing. He make a joke. He do T-Wex arms. What a loser. And then you get Colin, Mr. Tough Guy Bang Bang, saying the same shit. I'm scared of Aidan. He's so scary. Yeah, he wasn't acting like that outside of CF McCarthy's. Again, I'm not saying it. We'll wait till this is all done, and then we can have a conversation more in depth about this. I have a lot of thoughts about this that I'm going to keep to myself for now, because I don't need any more indictments on my ass. I don't need to give these. I know these people sit here and clip every single thing I say, so I'm not going to give them that for now. But I'm going to have plenty to say when this is all over. So I hope they know that. They know that. And then she goes, on social media, Kearney brushed off his latest indictment. Yeah, why wouldn't I? Okay. So there's that. So yeah, I got indicted today. I was also in court I found out when I was in Worcester Superior Court for my hearing with the fake victim. Okay. So I go into Worcester Superior Court today, and courtroom 25, beautiful courthouse, all the way at the top, 4th floor, all the way in the back. And we had to sit through all these other freaking hearings today. All these other people getting up there talking about boring shit. There was 2 Mexican guys, neither of whom spoke a lick of English, arguing over who owned an LLC for a restaurant. And then they both had to be, they had a hearing for it. And one guy took the stand and he didn't speak English. So they have a translator. It was a fucking mess. And then they wanted to take it to trial right then and there. Like, it was crazy. And they were going to keep me there all night. Luckily, they told me to take a break, and then mine started. So my lawyer, who is excellent, his name's Dave Heinlein, and he sued the fake victim in January for repeatedly claiming that I raped her, that I, what else? That I abused her, that I am a criminal, that I am a drug abuser. I think she said, even said I sold drugs, like all this shit, just completely untrue shit. You can't say that. She filed a motion to dismiss claiming anti-SLAPP. And anti-SLAPP means, how this provision works is that if you are petitioning the government, you should have a right to do that without being sued. So like if she was to testify against me in something, right? And she lied about whatever, like he called me a rapist. All right, so let's suppose I was actually charged with rape, right? And she sued me and she called me a rapist. I couldn't sue her for that because she is a witness for the government. I believe this is how it works. She's a witness for the government, and she has a right to say to make her accusations, even if, you know what I mean? Like, she has a right to make her accusations. But the problem with her is, so she claims that she's filing this motion to dismiss on anti-SLAPP, saying that, like, I'm only suing her to shut her up because she works for the government, because she's like a government agent. That's how anti-SLAPP works. But that's not why we're suing her. We're not suing her because of anything she said to a grand jury. That's my lawyer made the point. We're not suing her because of that. We're suing her because she repeatedly called me a rapist on her personal Twitter account over and over and over again. And I'm not, the problem with that is I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anyone. You can't rape the willing. Let's be honest here. And she was always willing. Like, there was no, and it's all in text before October 14th, after October 14th, it was all like in writing. And so we got receipts a mile long. We got videos, we got everything. And, you know, she only brought this up because I went to the police to have her charged with wiretapping, because she had a Ring camera in her bedroom, apparently, and didn't tell me about it. And next thing you know, I mean, she sent it to me afterwards, and I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, like, that's a Ring camera. I mean, whatever. You know, it's not the end, like, whatever. I wish you said something. You know, I wouldn't have said such weird shit, maybe, you know, like, you know, if you're on, you're on camera, it's a little bit different. And so she tells me about this, and I'm like, oh, okay. And I don't want to make a big deal of it. So I'm like, oh, nice. You know? But then I go to jail, and I'm like, the first thing I'm going to do when I get out of jail is I'm going to go to the police, and I'm going to file a criminal complaint against her for wiretapping. I have it on I have a screenshot of her sending me the video saying, I didn't tell you, but this camera was here, but look at this. This is hot, you know? And it doesn't, I think I responded something like, oh yeah, really hot, you know, something like that. But like, it doesn't matter if I liked it or not. It's still witness intimidation, period. I mean, not witness intimidation, wiretapping. I'm getting my felonies confused. Wiretapping. So, you know, I'm like, okay. You know, whatever. You know, so I go down and I tell the police this, and they are like, yeah, that's open and shut wiretapping. Yeah, I was just acknowledging it. That was just an acknowledgement that I received it. That's all that was. I like that one. I like that. Thanks, Bukkake. So, you know, I go down there and I tell the police this, and they're like, yeah, this is definitely wiretapping. Cool. Got him. And then they're like, we're going to need the video for footage. And I'm like, for evidence. I'm like, okay. So then I try to I have to send it via email, and it won't let me send on Gmail because they have some sort of like porn blocker or something. I don't know. You can't send porn on Google Mail. So, you know, I couldn't send it. And so then I had to go down there, and the fucking deputy police chief had to take his phone out, and I had to take my phone out. And, you know, he's videotapes my video of me going to work. And I'm like, the whole thing was just awkward, you know, but whatever. It's open and shut. And he goes and they bring it to because it's a felony, I guess he's saying that, brought it right to the district attorney's office. Right. But they agreed that it was wiretapping, and they bring it to the DA's office, and it's been sitting in a fucking desk forever. They don't do shit. You know what I mean? And now the cops have this video of my greatest fucking moves. Don't steal them. Okay. Those are my moves. They're copyrighted. Don't even think about it. But, you know, so they call her up about this, right? The police call her up, and they're like, you know, here's the accusation that's been made against you. And first thing she does in defense, like, not as like whatever. So she gets caught red-handed wiretapping me. And as a defense, she says, he raped me. Like that's her way out of this. Was like, oh, he raped me. What? He raped. And so she brings up these text messages from October of 2023 of one night where I went out and with like her. Okay, it's the first night we went somewhere. Like usually I would just go over there and leave. Okay. It was a very convenient in and out, you know. But this time it was after I was arrested a couple days afterwards. And so we're going to go out. So we went out to some place in Norwood. I always went to it's the chain place. I forget the name of it. It's in a hotel, whatever it was. So I went there and, had a couple drinks. And then on the way home, her inner crazy came out. And she starts telling me on the way home, I'm driving home, and she's like, you're a fucking piece of shit. You think you're so hot. You think that you can have anyone. You think this and this and that. You're such a piece of shit. You're not so hot. And blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, this is awkward. And then she asked to get out. She goes, I have to puke. Can you pull over? Okay. So I pull over and she didn't have to puke. She was faking it. And she just starts walking away, just being dramatic and difficult. And I'm like, okay, we're in Westwood at this point, going down Route 109 in the dark. And I'm like, come on, get back in the car. You're going to get hurt. What are you doing? And she gets back in the car eventually, being all dramatic. And so I'm getting back to Medfield and I'm like, well, see you never again. I guess this is over. And I'm like, well, that's the end of that, right? And no, it wasn't. She just wants to bang. And it's like, cause she didn't want, that's just how she is. That's a relationship to this person and other people like her is just like, let's get in a huge fucking blowout and then fuck our way out of it. And so I'm like, okay. I was down for a little bit of crazy and, cause whatever, it's not like I'm marrying this person or anything or having a baby named Clay with her or anything like that. And so, stay there the night. Everything was fine. Wake up the next morning, messaging back and forth and a couple videos here and there. And I'm like, and then she's like, she says in the text, she says, oh, I don't remember anything from last night or something like that. I don't remember anything. And then I go, yeah. I wasn't sure if we should, but then, we got back and you were all over me. So fuck it, And so what I meant by, and she has used that message now as like proof of rape, that she's like, I don't remember anything. And then I say, I wasn't sure if we should. Yeah. I wasn't sure if we should because you just told me I'm a piece of shit the whole time on the way home. I wasn't, apparently you hate me. So I wasn't sure if we should fuck. It's kind of weird, but apparently you don't whatever. So she's used that. That's her evidence of rape. So she goes to the police and she tells them he raped me. And she shows them the screenshot. See, here's proof that he raped me. And then, okay. And she asked me to send her the video. So I did. Okay. And she got rave reviews in the message she sends back. And then she shows the police that video. According to the police report, she shows the police the video. And they do a fucking play-by-play in the police report. They're like, okay, she is standing up and appears to be holding on to a fridge. And in the video, you can see his extremely large member going in. It describes it all. It's fully you read this all, you think you're reading Penthouse Forum or some shit. But they make sure to put in the report that at no point did either party seem overly intoxicated. there's some words in there that she says they're like, that rhymes with like laddie that would indicate that this is consensual. And they even put that in there. And they're like, basically, this is not rape. This is just kitchen fun. Okay. And between two people, two consenting adults. And then at the end, it says, oh, she didn't want to file charges. So that's what it says. And again, and I see this broad in court today, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh my God. Oh, what did I do? Like, she didn't look like that. I swear to God, she didn't look like that. I swear to God, she didn't look like that. If you've seen her now, oh, dude, no turtle boy in her life has not been good for her skin. It is not good. It's showing too. It's not going well. All right. So, I'm like looking at her in court, like, holy fuck. Like her face looks like, like a street in Sarajevo after a NATO bombing. Like it was fucking just riddled with bumps and bruises. Like it's not good at all. And, so anyway, so she starts writing all over Twitter. He raped me. He did this. He did that. He raped me a million times. So that's what we sued her for. And no, Grant was not with her, but I will tell you this. So she tried to get it dismissed today. And if it fails, the motion to dismiss, which I believe it will, we get to start deposing people. Number one on the deposition list is Grant Smith-Ellis. His ass is getting deposed because Grant has amplified her lies. And Grant like confronted me on video and is like, you are an alleged rapist. And, we always made sure to say alleged. And so, we're going to ask Grant, straight up, like, why did you say that? And so he's going to have to throw her under the bus, or he's going to have to say, I said it myself. That's his out, is saying, well, she made me. Like she said it. So I was just saying what she said. He can throw her under the bus. We'll see. We'll see. So Grant is getting deposed, and I can't wait for the Grant deposition, because and let this be a lesson to anyone out there. If you make shit up about me, we're suing you, and we're not putting up. And she's the first. There are many others to come after her. We're doing them separately for a reason. I have a really good lawyer. First time I've seen him in action today. He was excellent. And so she got up there and she made her case in front of the judge. And so she, I'll get the audio of it later, but she basically gets up there and she's like, he sexually assaulted me. So she's doing that thing. Okay. Yeah. And he's only doing this because I told people about it and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And then my lawyer basically got up and destroyed her. And she came with today. So she has no friends left. She's burned every bridge possible. There was no Twisted Tragedies. There was no 𝗵𝗫. That bridge, I think, has been burnt. And, obviously no McAlberts or anything like that. No Paul O'Keefe. I guess they've gotten rid of her. She had two people with her. She had that guy, Benny Blanco, who I've talked about before on this show. He's like the guy that played the balloon knot song outside of court, the little Mexican little looking dude. And the guy, he like loves flat chested women, according to his Twitter, him. And Grant and this guy, St Angelo. Those are the only two people there. And if you're unfamiliar with who St Angelo is. So I wrote about, let me see if I can find it. All right. I wrote about St Angelo, and we're going to get to the Bukkake. Don't you worry. But we got a lot going on here. All right. So this guy in 2020, missing East Providence teen posts on Facebook that she ran away from abusive transgender dad who was attempting to profit off her disappearance. So there was this girl, Marissa St Angelo, who was missing, and it was on the news, and the girl commented underneath her own missing picture and said, oh, this is the dad. So this is Ashley, aka Anthony St Angelo. And Anthony's got a shitload of Google trophies, in trouble with the law, all the time, always getting arrested, sued, etc. Just a complete deadbeat. And, you know, he has started some very shady fundraisers in the past, often using his kids. And he's like, please help me find my missing daughter. And shares a GoFundMe with it. And like, he tries to profit off of his missing daughter. Okay. But then the daughter comments with this whole post about how I'm Marissa St Angelo. I'm 16 years old, runaway, and my life is in danger because of my dad, 𝗃𝗄𝗄 St Angelo. I've been dealing with the mental, physical, and psychological abuse at the hands of 𝗃𝗄𝗄 and my brother Anthony for years. I'm tired of the constant abuse. I refuse to go home as long as 𝗃𝗄𝗄 is running around, keeping his manhunt for me going. Okay. And blah, 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 blah. Okay. So obviously this is the kind of story that I would always write about. Her sister Holly started a change.org petition and is alleging that she was also abused. So her sister alleged the same thing. So I write about this, right? And I I ended up having to get a restraining order on this dude because he's like one of these people that couldn't get over the fact that I wrote about him. And he not only went after me, he went after my ex-wife, who has nothing to do with I do, doesn't even like Turtle Boy. Okay. Is like a 4th grade teacher. And so he found out about her and he starts calling her work up and saying, you are employing a teacher who writes this blog. And so he accused her of being involved with what I do, and she has nothing to do with it. And so obviously she's not happy about that. And I end up getting a restraining order on this guy and my whole family. Like, he can't go anywhere near us. And so what does he do? He goes to a judge in Rhode Island named, I think her name is Melissa Darrigan, some tyrant. And she issues an order against me and my ex-wife because he claims that he was being targeted and harassed by us. Again, my ex-wife doesn't even know who the fuck she is, doesn't pay attention to my shit, nothing. And so I'm like, I go down to Rhode Island, to Providence, to a courthouse there. And I'm like, I think it's going to be a simple in and out order hearing and I'm going to win. And the judge is being extra cunty and saying, this is going to take, weeks, that you're going to need a lawyer. I'm like, what? For a fucking order? As it turns out, harassment prevention orders in Rhode Island are pretty meaningless. Like, they have no teeth to them whatsoever. Like, if you violate an HPO in Rhode Island against a non-family member, there's nothing there's no legal action. It's not an arrestable offense. So having an order on you in Rhode Island is, as long as it's not a restraining order against a family member, a non-family member in Rhode Island, if you get one of those, don't even fight it because it doesn't even matter. But this was a liberal judge and this dude is a tranny. And so, she doesn't like me. And I'm like, she's going to make my life difficult. So in comes attorney Mark Randazza, and we end up getting this, coming in. He saves the day, and we get it moved to I think we got it moved to federal court in Providence, and he didn't know how to deal with federal court, and we won. So we got that thrown out. Anyway, and the judge basically said that she would drop the order against me if I removed the blog about him. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Fuck him, And so then, let's see, he ends up getting arrested by East Providence police, and his house is condemned by animal control after deplorable living conditions were discovered. There he is going to court against me. Okay. So he got arrested for that. And then he went on and he continued, despite having an order, he called my ex-wife's school and left a voicemail saying that she should be fired in his manly voice. Okay. I identify the voicemail immediately. I'm like, yep, that's him. I recognize that voice. And he ends up getting arrested and charged. And his trial was in September of 2023, and I testified at it in Fitchburg. And the school principal testified, a police officer from Fitchburg testified, and, you know, they played the voicemail. But the problem is that since that voicemail, this dude has been taking hormones. And so his voice is completely different now. And so the jury heard the voicemail and then heard his new fake, you know, tranny voice, and they're completely different. And so he ends up getting found not guilty because of that. And he has been on a rampage since then. All right. And anyway, I had his two daughters come on my show and I interviewed them. And I'm only bringing this up because this dude, 𝗃𝗍 St Angelo, is the definition of a predator. And he is part of this whole anti-free Karen Reed thing now because he doesn't like me. And so he's joined this aisle of, you know, this dude is 𝗵𝗲𝗺, likes this guy. 𝗵𝗲𝗺 brings up his comments on the show and legitimizes him. So I just want them to know who they are advocating for, because they don't get to, like, you know, associate with these people, defend them, and then not own all of them. You own all of it. So I had his two daughters come on my show. This is old school Turtle Boy right there. If you haven't seen some of my older shows, this is in 2021. I interviewed his two daughters, and here's some of the highlights from it, right? All right, let's see. 28 minutes. Okay.
I wasn't dead or kidnapped, or me and my mom, we just left.
So why did you run? What made you decide to run away? What was he doing?
He just got worse and worse and worse, and my mom didn't want to deal with it anymore. And she was like, this is not healthy for my daughter. And she wanted to bring my brother, but she didn't because he would have told my dad. So me and my mom, we just left.
So you snuck out?
Yeah, we snuck out. We took like our clothes and our bags and we threw them out the window. And then we told my dad we were going to the store, and then we just never came back.
Oh, you did? Okay. And then you went to a friend's house, I want to say?
Yes. We went to.
So she literally escaped her dad by jumping out the window. The dad like locked them in the room, and they were like, this is like horrific shit what these kids.
I'm transgender. You're discriminating against me. And he tried saying in court that me and my mother are discriminating against him. But how are we discriminating against somebody when we would he would make us go to Pride with him? Granted, we liked going to Pride to, like, you know, because I'm not against people like that. But when you use it to get away with the law, that's a different story.
And he does, yes. Because
he does that. I feel like the only reason I feel like a part of him, he wants to be a girl. But I feel like another part is he wants to get rid of the 𝗃𝗍 St Angelo background.
What is the background? I mean, I know he's got some.
He has a lot of criminal charges. A lot with his ex-girlfriend. I don't know her name. A lot with my mother. Some with his family, and some with just people that he used to know.
Was he always like this when he was like not transitioned?
Yeah, he was always like this. It just got worse and worse as the years went on.
Yeah. So okay. I got a couple. And
more
so, Holly, you ran away too when you were younger. Was it similar circumstances?
Basically, I was just the oldest, so I got the brunt of it when I was still there. And then when I left, she got the brunt of it. We both got equally as abused, but because I was older, I went through more of it.
What is your
go to doctor's appointments, and I was not allowed to tell the doctor what was wrong with me. He wouldn't let me say anything.
Really? Like, what was what was he trying to cover up, you think?
I think he was trying to cover up the fact that he's hurt me.
Oh, so if you were like, why do you have a broken bone?
Yeah, like if I had a broken bone, my dad would blame it on, it was the brother by accident. It was the dog. Oh, she accidentally fell, or something that wasn't true.
16 years old.
And I had to sit there and lie, because if I went home and told them the truth, it was a big problem.
Jesus, you must have been felt like you were in a prison.
Yeah, pretty much. It felt like you were living in like a dungeon.
Now, did you guys go to?
All right, then there was one more clip.
Courtroom. My dad has this big pile of keys, like this big hook, you know, like the hooks.
Like a jail keeper or something.
Yeah, and it was like 100 keys, and he smashed my mom upside the head with it and cracked her skull.
So your mom is an abuse victim.
Yes.
Too, okay. Because people are
so I mean, so I wanted to play some of those clips just to remind you might see this person, Ashley St Angelo, since Ashley St Angelo still wants to hang around. And I'm just going to keep reminding the world who Ashley St Angelo is. Ashley St Angelo is a horrific child abuser. That girl was 16 years old. She had to run away from her home because her dad made her a prisoner and repeatedly abused her. And then those kids had the sister was, I believe 7. I think the sister was 18 in that video. The sister was also abused. And they were brave enough to come on here and tell their story to me about their abusive father, their child abusive father. So I just want the world to know that. I want 𝗵𝗲 to know that when he sees Ashley St Angelo in his comments and he legitimizes him, I just want 𝗵𝗲 to know this is the kind of company you keep, 𝗵𝗲. A child abuser, which makes sense because you regularly platform one with you because she's your friend, 𝗺ście 𝗵𝗂𝗺, also abused her children and lost 2 of them to the state forever. Mother's Day just passed, and 2 kids that she fired out of her, birth canal both said Happy Mother's Day to someone else. And we'll never know who she is. Thank God. Thank God. And that was all. It was very satisfying today in court to see that is all the fake victim has left is a child abuser and some guy who likes flat-chested women named Benny something. Okay. So that was satisfying. So that, and then, look at who won? So anyway, that was my day in court. Okay, that was the longest turtle chat ever. But anyway, I was gonna rant about that anyway. All right, next up, Thomas Autonomous Morris says, disclaimer, solely the thoughts of TAA. I hope Tully dot. I can't read this. This person, I can't do it. Okay, look at you guys. It's cute. I appreciate it. Appreciate the donos. But please do not send me turtle chats in which you say, that you hope Tully dies and then you want me to. I'm not doing that. I can't. That puts me in danger. So I can't read your thing. So if you want your $10 back, you can have it. Thank you. Next up, 𝗄𝗄𝗄𝗃 Fish sends $50. Says, listen, Turtle, I spent my lunch break absolutely fuming over the news that was circulating at that time. I'm so glad you're safe and free. You're our only turtle boy and our greatest natural resource. I'm just a lowly retail worker, and I do what I can with the donos when I can. If there's anything else we can do, I'm sure many here would love to help your cause. P.S. Higgins' hand looked bruised and swollen in the Canton Police hallway video. Love you, Daddy. Well, thank you very much, 𝗄𝗄𝗃 Fish. You're not a lonely retail worker. I appreciate everything you do, and I appreciate that. And I'm glad you were thinking about me, and I'm good. I'm alive. I'm good. I'm still here. Again, these are the I have fighting scumbags is nothing new. The Ashley St Angelos of the world, I got hundreds of those, thousands of people like that I've written about over the years. Some of them just can't get over it and just never stop. They never go away. And Ashley St Angelo is one of them. And I couldn't be prouder to stack up the enemies that I have. Everybody who doesn't like me is a piece of shit. I can honestly say that. Look at every single person out there who doesn't like me. They're just pieces of shit. There's no other way. I couldn't be prouder to be called bad things and be unliked by these pieces of shit. All of them. Child abusers, dog killers. You go down the list. That's how you rate a human being, right? And what they've accomplished in life. Who hates them? Who hates them? What are the quality of people who hate them? And there you go. Emily sends $5 and says, sounds like Colin and 𝗃𝗄𝗃 pulled up to a grand jury to cry more about window intimidation. 2 questions I hope we get answers to. Number 1, did they actually show the miming video to the grand jury? I'm sure. You said my guess is no, there's no way they didn't. And number 2, did Cosgrove introduce Colin as Colin? I think there's a good chance of that one too. So thank you very much for that. Kelly sends $5, goes, hey, Turtle Boy, what's the chances you'll be in the buffer zone Thursday? I would love to finally meet you. Keep fighting the good fight, Doc. So tomorrow's a half day for my kids. So I got to get them off the bus early. So I'm not going to be there tomorrow. It sucks. I'll definitely be there Friday because I have court in Dedham District Court on Friday with the fake victim, final pretrial conference before I have a trial with her on June 9th for violating the restraining order when she showed up and crashed Karen Reed's courthouse just so she could be near me. And there's that. So Thursday, I'm going to try my best to be there as well, driving in there, but we'll see. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Next up. Witness intimidator at the urinal. I absolutely love how rattled 𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃 got just by you walking up. Rhode Island reject. Hashtag free Karen Reed and hashtag dicks out for Turtle Boy. I like that one. Dicks out for Turtle Boy. Cam sends $10, goes, watched 𝗄𝗃𝗃𝗀𝗃 tonight on Court TV. That guy is an idiot. Credit to Nick Rocco. He was fired up responding to the nonsense. Wish we could see you on that show. I'd go on there anytime, but it is what it is. I'm happy to have my own platform instead, but I don't know what Joe Krowski said there. He's just such a hack for the Mick Alberts, and he pretends like he's not. So Phyllis sends $10 and goes, listen, Dr. Turtle Boy, Daddy A. Timothy Kearney, thank you for all you do. Keep this shit up. Will do, Phyllis. Holly Box Hayden sends $100. Woo, thanks, Holly. It says, as a mother of a law enforcement officer in a suburb of Dallas, we are outraged. The world is watching. Well, thank you. And God bless your family, Holly. Christine sends $10 and goes, we need a new DA. Vote for, oh, no, I already read the one. Okay. Let me refresh this, and then we'll get started with Bukkake shit. Some Bukkake shit. All right. Okay. Wow, they fired him for that. Okay. Next up. I gotta be, so this guy was, I just got news that this guy Tom Brady was fired. Not that Tom Brady. Tom Brady fired. Let's see. Norfolk County. Okay. It's only in the Herald. Yeah, here it is. Oh, come on. It's not letting me watch it. Okay. All right. Never mind. Fucking Herald. Like I would ever pay money for that. All right. Anyway, yeah, this guy Tom Brady, he was the assistant superintendent at the Norfolk County House of Corrections when I lived there for 60 days. And apparently he was fired today. Actually, let's see. Tom Brady. No, NBC have anything on it? Actually, I might have something here. Hold on. What's this?
Small town secret out of Norwood. Last year, the NBC 10 investigators looked into ethical concerns involving the Norfolk County Sheriff's Department. An official with that agency was accused of having employees in the Sheriff's Department perform plumbing work at his home during work hours and for free. The state now says that official violated conflict of interest laws.
Basin wrench, basic plumbing tools.
Mike Ramponi worked as a licensed plumber for the Norfolk County Sheriff's Department during his 20-year career before retiring last year.
They have a number of different sets of tools.
Ramponi says the number 2 person in charge of the jail, Deputy Superintendent Tom Brady, asked him to leave his taxpayer-funded job in the middle of his shift for a house call to fix the heat at Brady's Norwood home.
I didn't feel comfortable leaving and going there, but basically the boss said, go do it.
Texts obtained by the NBC 10 investigators show Ramponi alerted his supervisor that he was heading to Brady's house to do the work, and that Brady sent Ramponi the address and code to his house, and told him he left the circulator pump that needed to be replaced on top of the dryer.
I felt like that if I didn't go there and do it, there would be repercussions towards me. He could do anything.
The State Ethics Commission looked into these allegations and found that Brady violated the conflict of interest law on multiple occasions by having subordinate Sheriff Department employees perform plumbing work at his home during and outside of their state work hours. They say Brady neither paid the plumbers for replacing the shower head and water heater in his home, nor did he reimburse the sheriff's office for the value of the state work time the plumbers used to do.
Oh, there's where I used to stay. Where was my room? This is this is where I would wreck every morning. This is Brian Walsh's window right here. He lives on the first floor right over here. And this is where I would do my exercise every day, right over there. How about that?
This work. The state's conflict of interest law prevents the use of public resources for private use and prevents public employees from accepting gifts of $50 or more.
Something like this simply throws a wrench into the public trust.
Mary Connaughton is the Director of Government Transparency and COO for the government watchdog group, the Pioneer Institute.
It actually doesn't matter from an ethical standpoint whether it's on the clock or off the clock. If it's on the clock, it's worse, though, because then they're using public dollars.
Now, the state says Brady did give the plumber and the electrician who did that free work a bottle of wine each. We reached out to Brady for comment, haven't heard back yet. The spokesperson for the Sheriff's Department tells us they don't comment on personnel matters. And the commission.
So he got fired for that, right? And yeah, like, first of all, Howie calls him the GOAT, the greediest of all time. But I got to be honest, I'll never shit on Tom Brady for that. Tom Brady was really good to me when I was in there. He was one of the first people I met. Like when they brought me to like this processing thing. I'm in shock. I'm in fucking jail on my birthday. And he's just like, he's like, so number 1 rule in here, don't talk about your case with anybody. These guys are always up to something. He goes, you're not going to fit in here. He goes, you're normal. The guys here, they're not normal. Nobody's normal here. You're normal. And he's like, I'm gonna put you in medical. And so he was good to me. He was really good to me. So I'm not gonna shit on the guy at all. And to be honest with you, like you're not supposed to do that. But like Erica said in the comments before, it's like this is what they fire people. Like every other job besides the state police, there seems to be some level of accountability. Like you do some shit like that, you get fired. Like if a teacher did some shit that Bukkake and Proctor did, they'd be fired. But like I was on, like, I wasn't fired, but they would have liked to because of my blog, because of Turtle Boy. It's just, you can't say controversial things, but Michael Proctor can say whatever the fuck he wants, you know? So anyway, I'm not even going to shit on Tom Brady because I like Tom Brady, but apparently he was fired. So there's that. Okay. Next up. We'll read a couple more of these, and I want to start playing some video. Even though I played some last night. There was nothing today. So as you guys saw, no court today. Karen Reed is sick. I don't know if she had a tummy ache or whatever. I'm assuming it's a bug or something. People get sick. You know, that's shit happens. No pun intended. So she was not in court today. And like, I hope she's feeling better. Hope she's recharged. All these idiots are like, oh, she's scared. The kids are going to, testify against her. Oh, yeah, she's real scared of that. Like, first of all, that's sad. The fact that they're using those kids as weapons. Those kids are, I'm sure they're nice kids. They have, especially the girl, she's been manipulated and lied to. She's like close with the McCabe girls. And the boy is close with Kerry Roberts' son. And, it's really sad that these kids are being used like this to testify against who used to be their de facto stepmother. So, They're so stupid. They're like, oh yeah, she's so scared. Yeah. Or she's just fucking sick. You know, shit happens. And she was really good to those children. Those kids liked her a lot. And they sent her really nice messages that, you know, she's got receipts for. I've published a couple of them because I don't give a shit. Karen never published those. I did. She's not going to brag about it. I will. You know, fuck it. This is what the kids said about her. They obviously liked her. That's part of the fucking story. Sorry if you're going to have these kids get up there and be like, she's so bad, blah, blah, blah. And guess what? When they go tomorrow, I'm going to publish the text message that Kaylee sent Karen again before Jennifer McCabe brainwashed her. That's what I'm going to do. You guys want to use these fucking kids for your bullshit? I'm going to do the same fucking thing. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to tell the truth about this fucking relationship, not the lies that you fucking monsters are telling you child abusers. All the child abusers are on their side. I don't know if you noticed that. Kind of a trend. If you like abusing children, you will love AFKR. You will fit right in there. There isn't a single person on AFKR who will be like, you know what? Maybe we should have some distance with you. We appreciate the support, but you abused children, and that's kind of a deal killer. No. Jennifer McCabe's going to fucking love you. She can buy you a couch and shit. That's how it works. So thank you for that. Okay, let's see. Laura sends $5 and goes, I tweeted your defense fund 7 different places on Twitter and got over 30,000 views and 500 likes. Well, thank you, Laura. I support you and our right to free speech. I appreciate that because we got to have another motion to dismiss now with this bullshit, and time is money. So I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Kate E sends $6 and goes, wouldn't the Alberts have to move all the cars out of the driveway so Higgins could plow it? Am I missing something? No, you're missing nothing. And also, you wouldn't plow a driveway with no snow in it yet because it had just started snowing. So that makes no sense. Thank you. Misinformation and disinformation sends $5 and says, saw an ice cream truck today, but didn't have Kerry, Brian Albert, Peg, and the Norfolk DA's number. P.S. Me and my friends realized we used to work with your brother. Wow. Which brother? I got 3. So you have to be more specific. But thank you very much. Misinformation. Ronald sends $10, goes, as a law enforcement officer, there's no damn reason to lawyer up as a witness like Higgins has done. Very suspect. Or Brian Albert or Kevin Albert. They all lawyered up, all of them. And Michael Proctor lawyered up. They all lawyered up. James sends $5 and goes, retrial may be a psyop to expose mass corruption. Makes no sense for the Commonwealth to keep pushing this. It makes sense to me because they're invested in this. They need to stick it to the feds. The feds gave them a bad name. Like the federal investigation is kind of like, if they get a conviction on Karen Read, they're going to be like, see, the feds were wrong. That's what they're trying to do. That's the whole reason they're going forward with this still. Now, plus, you know, they got to please, it's the 2 most important people in this are Peggy and Paul O'Keefe, right? If they actually gave a shit about John, they would be on our side. And then there would be political pressure on the DA's office to drop the charges, and they probably would. But since they're on the other side, they get to hide behind the O'Keefes. They always hide behind them. And it is their fault that this is continuing to happen like this. They fully support this. Don't ever spend a second of your time feeling any sort of sympathy or pity for Peggy O'Keefe or Paul O'Keefe. They are actively trying to put an innocent woman in jail, and they don't give a fuck about their dead family member, John O'Keefe. John O'Keefe deserved better brother and a better mother than Peggy and Paul O'Keefe, both of whom suck. And guess what? It's okay to say that. It's not, you're not a bad person if you say that. It's just the truth. They are disgraceful. They are horrible. And they're not just people who have been, lied to and manipulated. They're grown-ass people who have seen all the facts. They go to every court date and they don't give a fuck. Why don't they give a fuck? Because they are trash. That's all it comes down to. And I've been saying that for 2 years, and people, could leave the family alone. I'm not going to boo them. I don't attack them in person, but I say what they are. and I call them out, and they suck. And it's okay to say that. So thank you. Next up. Randy sends $5 and goes, the 2-hour mark on your live last night shows him moving a car, a black car, top left. He then comes back, walking back into the screen from the bottom left area. We can analyze that a little more tonight. Thank you. Jen Stockdale, who was there today, sends $25 and says, I can't decide what I love more today. The lawyer on another case who couldn't wait to tell you he'd been listening to you for years, or the lady who said you're in her bedroom every night. Yeah, I got so many people, like this lawyer who was there in the courtroom. He just starts walking out. He's like, Turtle Boy, I've been watching you for years. So that was, again, I go into any place in America, in not America, but like around here, and a million people recognize. Like, I got nothing but compliments. So there's that. Thank you. Kitty Cat sends $5 and goes, I'm sickened by everything. Sometimes when I watch the KR hearings on Melanie's YouTube live, I want to vomit. And all this shit on you, I am going through a lot of stuff right now, but free Karen Reed and free Turtle Boy, and holy fuck, something's going on in Worcester, East Side. Oh, is there really? Well, I'm glad. I hope that works out, Kitty Cat. I appreciate that. Lynn sends $50 and goes, evening doctor, would you want to hear Chris Albert's explanation for grabbing Brian Higgins' arm at the waterfall? The only reason I want him on the stand. That's a great point. That is a good point. We need Chris Albert to explain what's going on in that video there. Chicken Parm Charlie. He was definitely jumping in the middle of something and trying to calm shit down. He knew that there was tension there. He was well aware of it. Brian Higgins was pissed. This has not been a good trial for Brian Higgins. I don't feel like Brian Higgins was exposed this much in the last trial. I think if there's anything, but Brian Albert and Colin Albert have not been exposed at all like this. Brian Higgins certainly has. And I think the jury can hopefully infer that, like, well, Brian Higgins ain't going to do this on his own. If Brian Higgins, they're probably thinking to themselves, well, if Brian Higgins killed John O'Keefe, why wouldn't the Albert family just turn on him? Like, and then I hope they start thinking, like, he couldn't have done this alone. He couldn't have done this alone. Nothing, like, it makes perfect sense that Brian Higgins was involved in this because he had the motive, not the motive to kill, but the motive to fight, to be pissed. He was drunk. He had the opportunity. His text messages show that he was frustrated with Karen Reed for ignoring him, all that stuff. And then we got him on video walking around with this hoodie on, looking shady and talking on the phone at 1:35. And we haven't even gotten to the fact about butt dials or anything like that. And hopefully the jury realizes that, like, he couldn't do this alone, but it's the only thing that makes sense. Because if Brian Higgins wasn't involved, let's suppose it was Brian and Colin Albert that did it. Brian Higgins would have no reason to cover for them. He could be like, fuck these guys. They're not family. Fuck them. Conversely, if Brian Higgins did this alone, the McAlberts could easily throw him under the bus and be like, that motherfucker did it by himself. But they're in it together. That's how you know it was all of them. That's how you know it was Higgins and the Alberts, is because they're both stuck in this fucking lie together. They're both stuck in this horrible, horrific thing, and they're forever bonded by it. That's why Kevin Albert sent that text message to Higgins asking him, why aren't you getting back to us? Everyone's worried about you. Everyone's worried about you. You know, he sends John a text message. You coming here? Coming here. It almost sounds like they were waiting for him, didn't it? So I hope they call Higgins. I do. All right, next up. Heather sends $10 to go. Shout out to my twin sister, who's an avid supporter of yours. Jerry, who has also been following Karen and this trial from the beginning. Thank you. Will do. Tell your sister I said hello, Heather. Brian Koberger. Okay, he's out. Sends $5 and says, hi, Uncle Turtle, longtime huge fan. So I definitely killed those people, like 100% killed them. and I'm definitely fucked at trial. But man, Karen, she absolutely didn't do it. I know she's innocent. They are making us guilties look bad. Free Karen Reed. P.S. I'll subscribe if you cover my trial. Wow. 𝗂𝗃𝗧 sends $5 from jail and admits he did it. Wow. It's a scoop of the century right there. So thank you, 𝗂𝗃𝗧. Appreciate that. Next up, Julia sends $5 and goes, hey, Aidan, recently you made a comment comparing the wives of Canton to the show Desperate Housewives. The town in Desperate Housewives is called Fairview. That's so fucking true. I didn't even think of that. And they live on Wisteria Lane, right? And they actually do commit and cover up multiple murders there. They do. I know. I forgot about that. Free Karen Reed and free Turtle Boy. Thank you. John sends $10 and goes, if Chris and Colin are not called to testify in trial too, how can you be charged with witness intimidation against them? Also, if I were the defense, I would not call Brian Albert. If they don't call him, then he can't intimidate the jury on the final day because they will have no idea who he is. My reasons for not calling Brian Albert would be a little different, just because he's a tremendous liar and he knows exactly what he's a master at taking the stand. Like clearly that guy was he knew what he was doing. So he's tough to beat, that guy, but to answer your question, a lot of people asked this. I think 𝗃𝗃𝗧 was asking it a lot today, was how can you be charged with them if they're not called as witnesses? It doesn't matter. You're on the witness list. You're a witness. At the very least, you are a potential witness. And on top of that, you are the family member of a witness, which means you're also covered under the very broad Massachusetts witness intimidation statute. So there's that. Karen sends $10, goes, damn son, if only you had dino snacks being fed to you. Okay, dog biscuits maybe. Unbelievable. They can audio record and it's okay. Exactly. DePietro's policy sends $10, goes, hoss long until you break FCC policy again. Stay free turtle. As soon as I see DePietro, I'm breaking the policy because I'm allowed to. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a stream right next to him. I'm going to do a broadcast right next to him. And because it's a public area, I can broadcast whatever I want to broadcast. And if John interrupts my broadcast, we're getting the troopers over here. We're going to tell him he's violating SEC policy, whatever it is, So thank you. Next, Michelle sends $10, goes, did Higgins get a Faraday bag out of one of the trucks in the parking lot at Canton Police? Is that how they moved John's phone from the house and garage without having any Apple Health data recorded? That's what a lot of people think. The Faraday bag thing wouldn't surprise me. Again, you don't have to prove that happened. You just have to point out that it could have happened. That whole video that you saw yesterday is all reasonable doubt. That whole Brian Higgins video is nothing but like new possibilities about what could have happened. We don't have to know what happened. We just have to know that video shows that a whole bunch of stuff could have happened. And so we don't know for sure. And none of it was investigated. So we'll never know. And therein lies the problem. That's reasonable doubt, people. That's reasonable doubt. I hope the jury understands that. Thank you. Lee from Plainville sends $10 and goes, I put YouTube on earlier at 5 when I saw Not in jail. I was thrilled for you and also thrilled knowing that set up Queen, the fake victim, must have been seething. The corruption is despicable and wrong. You are my hero. Well, thank you, Lee. I appreciate that. Keith sends $5 and goes, Fanning or Bukkake were probably on the grand jury. Doubtful, but thank you. $25 here from Amy and says they wanted to use Karen Googling a DUI attorney as consciousness of guilt evidence, but didn't find it at all odd. Somebody who's supposedly just an attendee at a party the night that John died did his first police interview at his attorney's house. Make it make sense. So true. I didn't even think of that. Brian Higgins did his first interview at his attorney's house in Sharon. But Karen reads the bad one because she Googled DUI attorney. Okay. 𝗄𝗲𝗃 sends $10 and goes, in my opinion, the video of Higgins was found as punishment for going off script and testifying that he saw a dark-haired man come into the house, but I didn't recognize him. A little cover your ass just in case the FBI knew what happened. Go against the Alberts, and you may get thrown under the snowplow. 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. Rosaline sends $10 and goes, Dr. Turtleboy, Yuri said he was working traffic at Logan Airport when he received Proctor's texts. Why would a detective be working at airport traffic? Details? I don't know. Is this BS or was he being punished? No, he wasn't being punished. And did you lose your mind when Yuri claimed First Amendment rights? Yes. Yes, I did. The absolute gall of him. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And the next day I'm indicted for window intimidation? I mean, they can't be serious. Thank you. The Goodman send $10 and goes, you and Will are scary. I know. To widow 𝗃𝗃 𝗧𝘂𝗏 we are. Ashley sends $5 and goes, how did Brennan get the nickname Spanky? Thanks for all you do. I just called him that and it just stuck. Thanks. Sheila sends $5, goes, listen, Turtle. John O'Keefe's phone recorded 432 steps at 6:04 a.m. Could be data finally syncing when the phone is removed from a Faraday bag by Jen. It could be. I don't know how Jen could have removed it from a Faraday bag at 6:04, but could be. A lot of things could happen. You don't have to prove it happened. You just have to prove it could. All right, next up. Michelle sends $100. Woo, thanks, Michelle. Says Turtle Rex, T-Rex, TB, and Will, the gift that keeps on giving. State police should take lessons on integrity from you. Free Turtle Boy and Karen Reed 2025. Well, thank you, Michelle. The Turtle you know sends $10 and says Turtle Boy will prevail. Can you shout out my wife, please? Her name is Sarah, and she's the most beautiful woman in the world. Tomorrow is her birthday, and she is a big fan of the show. Thanks, Unc. What a nice husband you are there, Turtle, you know. And happy birthday to your beautiful wife, Sarah. I'm sure she's a great person. I love seeing stuff like that. True love right there. You can tell that man loves his woman. Thank you. Read a couple cash apps, and then we'll get started with the content. It's 10:38. Holy shit. Okay. Christy sends $5 and goes, I love what you're doing, and I appreciate your balls. Yeah, you can't negate the balls. You got to pay attention to the balls. So I appreciate that, Christy. Good girl. Thank you. Megan sends $15 and goes, standing up for those without a voice. Well, I appreciate that, Megan. It's the least I can do. Nicole sends $5 and goes, do we know if Brian Higgins is still with ATF? We do, but I don't know if he's doing like desk work. He's on the list to become a Cambridge firefighter. He's trying to go that route once again. We'll see. Okay, next up. Holly sends $10 and goes, so happy all was good for you today. Yes, it was, Holly. Thank you. Randy sends $10 and goes, this is why you can't put your dick in crazy. I know. Tell me about it. I learned my lesson. Carol sends $10 and goes, I'm stunned that this is your indictment. I'm not, unfortunately. I'm used to this. Thanks, Carol. Robin sends $10 and goes, Chris Albert is a bitch. I don't disagree with that. Thank you, Robin. Paige sends $10 and goes, Turtle, do you have a dog? And Hank is a fuckhead. I had a dog for 3 days until I realized that I am not in a good position to own a puppy. It seemed like a good idea in jail, but not such a good idea in the real world. So thank you. Michelle sends $25 and goes, thanks for doing what you do. Hey, got nothing else to do. Thanks, Michelle. Steven sends $5 and goes, free Karen Reed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Leslie sends $25 and goes, praying for you and Karen. I appreciate that. And Katrina sends $11.11 and says, you good. Yes, I am. Carly earlier in the day sent 25 and said, free Turtle Boy. Thank you very much, Carly. And okay. All right, cool. If anyone else wants their messages read, I'll read more later. Turtle Chat is pinned to the top of the chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtle Boy. Let's get started on watching some more of yesterday's testimony with Bukkake, since we had no court today, and it is what it is. Okay. Still got a nice crowd here, almost 11,000 people. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. We just passed 123,000 during the show tonight. We are now at 123,342. Oh, shit. Okay, cool. All right. Anyway. Oh, thanks, Musty. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So let's get my timestamps out here. All right. I want to start with some of this shit about, I think I played some of this yesterday, but the voir dire shit. Okay. Because this is, the more I think about this, the more outrageous it is. So Spanky wanted his own witness voir dire to protect him so that people couldn't ask questions about his relationship, about what Proctor's relationship. He's trying to hide Proctor's relationship with the McAlberts. He's not calling up Proctor. So Alan Jackson's trying to get it through Bukkake. And he's trying to get everything through Bukkake about Proctor. And so he has to pretend that he doesn't know any of this shit. And so let's replay this part.
Go ahead whenever you're ready. Thank you, Your Honor. Sergeant, I'd like to move to a different area. At some point during the course of your investigation, you and Michael Proctor interviewed Chris and Julie Albert, correct?
That's correct.
That was at the Albert residence, the Chris and Julie Albert residence. Is that right?
Yes.
On or about February 10th, 2022?
Yes.
Is that right?
It does.
Okay. At any point before or during that interview, did Michael Proctor discuss with you a previous relationship that he and or his family had with Chris and Julie Albert or their family?
Yes. As we're walking up to the door, he stated that he knows them from he knows of them from around town and through a friendship.
Did that cause you any concern that the case officer that had been assigned to the case, dealing with, obviously, involving the Albert family, had a pre-existing familiarity or relationship with any members of the Albert family?
Yes, I followed up asking him if he hangs out with these people, how well he knows them. And he stated that he does not hang out with them. They're not his friends. He just happens to know them through people in town.
Did he tell you any specifics about communications he had related to Chris and Julie Albert?
No, he did not.
Did he tell you any specifics about communications Michael Proctor had with his sister as it pertained to Chris and Julie Albert?
No.
Did he volunteer any information about the relationship that he might have or his family might have, including his wife, with Chris and or Julie Albert?
That information not come up.
Did you ever later learn, now I'm taking it outside of your conversation with Michael Proctor, did you ever later learn about friendship or connection that he and his family, Michael Proctor's family, had with Chris and Julie Albert or the Albert family?
I've learned of accusations. I don't know the extent of how familiar they are.
What accusations have you learned?
Through trial or through court proceedings.
Right. What are they? We give you the nature of what you've learned.
Yes.
Through court proceedings.
Sustained. We need a time frame.
Ugh.
When did you learn of these of this information?
That was July of 2023, I believe.
And what were the circumstances in which you gained this knowledge?
There were accusations.
So first of all, he says he didn't learn about the accusations that Proctor knew the Alberts until July of 2023. That's just a lie. That is just a bold-faced lie. There was no way this guy just learned about it in July of 2023. I first wrote my story in April of 2023. So it was all over the place. There's no way it wasn't the talk of the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office amongst the state police. Like, this guy's an asshole. He's problematic. Here's what he's saying. Blah, blah, blah. There is no way he found out in July of 2023 about this. And this is where he claims he heard it for the first time.
That Michael Proctor had
that you guys
familial friendship with these individuals, but the accusations were not factual.
Did you learn any specifics
of
the allegations? Did you use the word allegations, or I think you used the word accusations?
Yes.
Were there specifics?
There were.
You just said that there. What were some of the specifics?
Objection.
Sustained. Well, by the way, did you say that you learned of these accusations during the last proceeding in this case?
Not the last proceeding.
Or a prior proceeding in this case?
It was through court proceedings.
Okay. How did you learn that specifically, Sergeant? Did you watch some of the proceedings? Were they televised? Did someone report it to you? What were the circumstances?
I was present in court.
This was what year? 2023? 2023.
Yes.
And did you take any action to investigate further the accusations that you said came up in 2023?
No. Well, yes, I did. Yes.
Okay. What did you do in that regard? What were the accusations and what did you do to investigate?
The information had been learned and that it was not factual. So
Okay. You're using the word information. Help me out. Details. What'd you learn?
there was claims that.
May we approach, Your Honor? Yes.
So he doesn't want. So he claims in July of 2023 is the first time that he heard anything about this. So I went and I looked. I need to go through this with like a fun. Canton TV chronicles all the pretrial hearings. This is the first big, like after I started writing about it, that's when it really blew up. And this one on July. Load here. Okay. As you can see in the back there, there's right there. There's Bukkake. Wait, did it not load? Hold on. Wrong. Yeah, there's 𝗃𝗏 and Bukkake. And I attended this one as well. This is the first time I held a protest outside the courthouse. I had my Google shirt on and my sport coat. And, you know, it was 1,000,000 degrees that day. And 𝗃𝗏 and Bukkake and Fanning were all there. There they are. There they are. Look at them. There they are. So they were there that day. And I'm like, okay. And what did they talk about? I want to hear what they talked about on this day.
Necessary police orders, constructionists to be specific, who unfortunately suffered from a recent medical episode and will not be available for that August 7th date.
Okay.
I did speak with counsel Mr. Reddington's office in regard to that 11/7 date, and I believe
Reddington unavailable today?
he is currently on trial in the Fall River Superior Court. Okay. But I did speak with his office and indicated.
All right, so blah, blah, blah. What were the topics discussed here?
The Commonwealth has filed, including a motion to compel, our opposition to a motion to disclose the name of an investigator. The Commonwealth.
I haven't seen that motion.
You haven't seen that. The one dealing with it's the court probably is thinking of it in terms of the animal control motion. There was a request by the Commonwealth
There's
that
Fanning.
they be given access to the animal control documents, but at the same time they requested the disclosure of our expert.
All right.
Commonwealth's motion for timely has the same right to a fair trial. Chief among those rights enshrined in the Constitution here in Massachusetts and the Constitution in the United States is the impartiality and the neutrality of the judiciary. That's why we're here today. Anything less than that, and the system is rendered completely iniquitous.
So the reason I'm playing this is because Bukkake's playing dumb. He's acting like, oh, I've never heard about any of this. So we're watching this together for the first time, and I want to see, like, did they talk about what happened here? Like, did they talk about the relationship between Proctor and the McAlberts at this hearing?
It's morally broken. But fairness and impartiality by the court.
This is the hearing, by the way, where they try to ask Auntie Bev to recuse herself, and she refuses.
Is not enough. In other words, the court can't simply aver that it's fair, that it's unbiased after doing some soul searching. That simply won't do under the current law in Massachusetts and the current law in the United States. For a motion of this sort, it's not our burden to establish that this court is actually biased or actually partial in some way, and we are not making that argument. I want to be very clear about that. Rather, the Code of Judicial Ethics mandates disqualification of any jurist in any proceeding in which either the...
Okay, so he asked her to... Where was that? Oh, there's the sport code. Who's over here? This is interesting. Who do we got here? We got Steve Nelson, the victim witness douchebag. There's this woman's been appearing a lot lately. Oh, Laura Sullivan's there. There she is, the Sullivan slut. Who else we got there? Some Rizzotanos. This guy who's always here. I think he's a Boston. I don't know who this guy is. He's an asshole though.
Not only fairness, but also the appearance of fairness in every judicial proceeding. And it's that latter point or that latter rule that brings us to court today. We have, through our
Oh, there's antiquated rogue on our side.
motion practice, presented facts and circumstances that would and have given.
All right.
That does not mean, and we are not stating or averring, that this court is not fair or impartial.
So yeah, basically asks her to, I don't know why the camera's always on me. He asks her to get, step down. She has no control of her courtroom. None. Who's the idiot? There's just never an excuse to have a ring on your phone. No, never an excuse. Your phone should always be on vibrate. I've never had a ringer on my phone, ever. I don't know why. It's such a boomer move.
Go ahead, Mr. Jackson.
Best laid plans, right?
This is
for the request that I just mentioned about the 𝗵𝗇 motions. There was no delay by this court. The court made the rulings from the bench, and that made the public.
Oh, wait, another interruption?
Has unilaterally sought to even advance certain motions that the Commonwealth has presented.
This is so, like,
Try again.
I forgot she just had no control of her courtroom and just doesn't exert, like, nobody is, like, just her whole demeanor is like, nobody takes her seriously. Wait, did somebody just say free Billy? This is the free 𝗵𝗲𝗺𝗃𝗃 one, I think. I forget that this is that one.
Yeah, sure.
The court has unilaterally sought to advance motions that have been advanced by the Commonwealth while still not ruling on motions that to have deviated from the normal course of procedure. In this,
All right, so we asked for
a member of the 𝗵𝗃𝗃 family and a brother-in-law,
Oh, here we go.
Jennifer 𝗵𝗃𝗃, whom we have argued in this court, should have at least been a suspect. Or
You're going to
assumption.
show that this way, Ms. Little. Why don't you show it to me? Thank you.
Sean
Go ahead.
𝗵𝗃𝗃 made a claim to a reporter in public.
Oh, this is me. I'm the reporter that they're talking about. This was my time to shine. So this is a message that I got from Sean McCabe, the brother of Matt McCabe. And I asked him, do you really have a line to Judge Kearney? Because he claimed he did. And he goes, Auntie Bev. So he's the guy that came up with the Auntie Bev nickname. And he says, Auntie Bev, whose seaside cottage do you think we're going to bury your corpse under? So he tells me that we're going to murder you and bury your corpse in the judge's front yard, who I call Auntie Bev. As it turns out, she does own a seaside cottage. And how does this guy know that? As it turns out, he lives like 3 miles from her. They go to the same beach. And there might be a relationship between Auntie Bev and these people. And even if she is impartial, the mere impression that she might not be to the public is grounds for recusal. She does not recuse herself. That's how you know, like, she's addicted to this case. And for good reason. Like, she can't take herself off.
Claiming to have a personal relationship with this court.
Yeah. So there's that. What else do they talk about?
A screenshot.
Could you bring it
Oh,
closer?
the Venmo payment with the
I
Nagels.
personally do not, nor have I ever even had a question in my mind as far as the court's ability to remain fair and impartial.
Yes. Alan he thinks she's a
Order has any influence over the court.
yeah.
Family had a personal relationship with this court. And
A couple of them I hadn't seen before. So the defendant raises 4 discussion points in their motion.
Yeah.
Lack of impartiality. There is no reasonable or credible appearance
There's no credible appearance of any.
of impartiality.
So she has single-handedly decided, she's investigated herself, and she's determined that she's impartial. She's just, sorry, I've investigated myself, and as it turns out, I mean, what kind of system is this?
And I want to make it very clear that I reject the notion that untrue and unsubstantiated rumors spread on the internet can force a judge to recuse herself from a case. Simply because someone plays with my name or gives credence to those who do. By holding up a placard, you can't create a reasonable, incredible appearance of lack of impartiality.
Wow.
I'm sure counsel's aware that prior to me becoming a judge, I spent my entire professional career representing criminal defendants in very serious cases.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a moment. You know, like Chris Albert, who was charged with killing a man in 1994. Who defended him? Oh, yeah. Auntie Bev's brother, Uncle Bev. Okay. He defended Chris Albert, and we didn't even know this when this motion was filed. That would have probably been included in the motion, but it was unknown at the time. I hadn't published that story yet. By the way, all this news comes from me. Like the journalist, like all you're seeing, all this shit that you're reading about, if you're new to Karen Reed, I broke all this shit. Like this guy discovered all this shit. And, you know, it's all used in court motion. And that's, shocking. The defense likes me. Shocking. So I didn't just get my news from the defense. They got their shit from me, quite frankly, more often.
In the courts of Massachusetts, I know full well.
Oh, yeah. She knows
the importance of a fair and impartial.
Oh, right.
judge.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
The Massachusetts Declaration of Rights makes sure that every citizen who appears before the court has a fair and impartial judge. And I know full well how to follow my oath.
Oh, yeah. Sure you do.
Comply
Right.
with my ethical obligations.
Oh, my God.
All 4 points raised in the defendant's motion are without merit.
Oh.
The motion is denied. I will have written findings by the end of today summarizing what I've said here. And I will give you, Mr. Jackson, whatever time you need to appeal this decision. How much time do you think you need?
They don't appeal it.
Yes.
Look at Bukkake there, smiling, loving it, next to Fanning. I wonder if he's thinking about Sandra Birchmore there. Probably not. He didn't put much thought into her at all.
Thank you for that invitation.
Now, they claim that they were in his affidavit to have me. It's funny, actually. In their affidavit to have me charged and to search my house and get a search warrant, they said that I wiretapped Bukkake about 10 minutes later. There's a piss break here. Me and him both go down to the bathroom, and I strike up conversation with him at the urinal, mostly, you know, about groceries and, you know, kids and whether or not he helped facilitate a cover-up of a murder. And so I started asking him these questions, and then he leaves. And I record myself at the urinal pretending to talk to him, but he's not actually there. And no audio is picked up or anything like that. And they claim that this is wiretapping and that they have, and that was the probable cause that they used to get the search warrant to search all my devices was they claim I wiretapped Bukkake, and they made sure to put in the affidavit that Bukkake was not there as a cop, because the wiretapping statute has a provision that says that if you cannot be charged with wiretapping a cop on duty. So if you secretly record a police officer while he's working, you can't be charged with wiretapping, except he clearly is working, because look where he's sitting. He's not sitting with the people. That's a special area for cops and attorneys. And I bet you he's got his gun. I bet you he has a gun and a badge on him. So he is, in fact, working. That's bullshit.
We're not inclined to appeal at this point. We will.
All right,
we'll
Mr.
rest on the
Yannetti,
court's order.
Mr. Yannetti, I will hear you. I'm sorry, Mr. Lally, I will hear you on the Commonwealth's motion to prohibit prejudicial extrajudicial statements of counsel.
So this is, they tried to get a gag order on the defense, and he's basically saying that they're using me. He's pissed about me. I did the rolling rally 3 days before this, and he's like really pissed about it. And so he wants me gagged and the defense gagged.
It'd be allowed. And
so this leads
made accessible to the public. Again,
oh, he's so
a
boring.
couple of things in the opposition that counsel filed that I would just address at this point.
Oh, he's painful.
Being that
yeah,
whatever statements were made by this person have nothing to do with the Commonwealth as it relates to this particular case. And then there's some other statements attributed to press liaison from the district attorney's office, essentially upon receiving requests from the media.
Why are they looking at me? Why is the
certain members
camera
of the
doing
media
this?
As far as a date, location, and time, and the subjects or the charges that were to be.
Why is it on
subject
me?
Of an arraignment, or subject of a conference, or whatever.
I don't know.
Essentially, name, rank, and serial number is what was provided to members of the media, and that apparently then opens the floodgates as far as their reactionary statements and filings that they've made directly with the media while this case has been going on.
Oh, he's so boring. He's so goddamn. I can't even listen to him. I can't even listen to him ramble on about nothing. I'm trying to see if I recognize any. There's the Sullivan slut. These guys just listen to Lally and they're like, fuck this guy. Then this is the how dare you speech. We got to watch the how dare you speech. This is a great speech by David Unetti. Watch this.
May it please the court. An attorney's duties do not begin inside the courtroom door. An attorney may take reasonable steps to defend a client's reputation and reduce the adverse consequences of an indictment, especially in the face of a prosecution deemed unjust or commenced with improper motives. Those are not my words, Your Honor. Those are the words of Supreme Court Justice Kennedy giving the majority opinion in the controlling case of Gentile versus State Bar of Nevada.
Ooh.
The knowledge that every criminal trial is subject to contemporaneous review in the form of public opinion is an effective restraint on possible abuse of judicial power. Without publicity, all other checks are insufficient. In comparison of publicity, all other checks are of small account. Public awareness and criticism have even greater importance where, as here, they concern allegations of police corruption. Again, the words of Justice Kennedy. As for me, Your Honor, I have 3 words for this court.
Here we go.
3 words forming one question. How dare they? How dare the prosecution try to prohibit defense counsel from doing our jobs? How dare they ask this court to take away our First Amendment right to free speech? How dare they try to trample on my client's Sixth Amendment right to a fair trial and her 14th Amendment rights to due process of law? How dare they?
Ooh.
Your Honor, I have represented Karen Reed since January 29th of 2022. I was hired not long after she was released from the hospital under psychiatric observation because she was that shocked and that distraught after finding her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, lying hopelessly cold and bloody on Brian Albert's property. From the beginning, she has faced a prosecution team that did everything they could to poison the well of public opinion. Before she was initially arrested on manslaughter charges, I formally contacted the Massachusetts State Police in writing and promised that if they took out charges against her, my client would fully cooperate. I confirmed that I would walk her in and surrender her wherever they would like me to do so. And what did they do? They completely ignored that promise of cooperation.
This was.
Insisted on arresting her so that they could parade her before the media. They got their perp walk and the poisoning of the well began. And almost immediately thereafter, no less than Superintendent-in-Chief of the Boston Police Department, Gregory Long, came out immediately in public to declare that the state police and the Norfolk DA's office had arrested the person responsible for John's death. Superintendent Long did not caution that someone accused of a crime is innocent until proven guilty. He did not caution the public to keep an open mind. He did just the opposite. He announced in public for everyone to hear that in his opinion, Karen Reed was guilty and let's pat the prosecution on the back. That statement was broadcast on almost every media outlet.
Yes.
It was posted to the Boston Police official Facebook account. It was posted to the Boston Police official Twitter account. It was posted to the Boston Police official website. Right from the start, the Boston Police announced that Karen Read was guilty. Now, I ask you, Your Honor, where was Mr. Lally after that statement was made? What cautionary instructions did the Norfolk DA or the Canton police chief make then?
Nothing. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing.
We can only take from their deafening silence that the prosecution was quite comfortable when the media narrative was that Karen did this.
Yeah, they like that.
No request for a gag order then.
Nope.
There was only silent approval.
And that's exactly it. They only want the gag order because the defense, the reason that they are where they are right now is because they have told the truth, because they have spoken with members of the media like me, like award-winning journalists like me, who have told the truth about what has happened. And they're trying to gag them. They don't like that. They don't like the fact that there's crowds outside protesting this stuff. They liked it the old before I came along, and they could just fuck Karen Read over as they saw fit and no one would pay attention. And the Boston Globe sure as ain't going to say shit. So fuck it.
But of course, that was only the beginning. Immediately after Karen's arraignment in Stoughton District Court on February 2 of 2022, Superintendent Long once again seized the opportunity to speak to the media in full uniform, conveying that he was speaking in an official capacity. He lamented the loss of a fellow officer, quote, especially under circumstances like this, end quote. It was obvious to anyone listening what he meant. Circumstances of his girlfriend supposedly killing him, because that's what he already told the media. So from the start, they controlled the narrative, and as long as they did, all was well. They had Karen Read right where they wanted her, and with the public being told, there's nothing to see here. She hit him with her car. She's guilty. Just trust us. And they were able to control the narrative and get away with it, I suggest to the court, because they withheld discovery from us for months.
Right.
In the meantime, Canton Police Chief Rafferty was allowed to publicly state that the facts revealed by the defense were just, quote, sensational accounts.
Yes.
And they really should just trust the prosecution. Jennifer McCabe's attorney was allowed to publicly state that the defense attorneys were just spinning it and it's going nowhere. He told the world without evidence that the whole scenario is baseless. The Norfolk County DA is allowed to suggest regarding the timing of Jen McCabe's 2:27 a.m. Google search, which we can prove without any doubt.
Yes.
The Norfolk County DA suggested to the media that we may not have interpreted the raw data correctly.
That's so true. This is funny looking back on this in time. This is before Ian Whiffen and Jessica Hyde were a thing. This is before they'd ever heard the name Ian Whiffen. And they'd already decided that the Google search never happened. Before they hired an expert who told them the Google search never happened. I don't think he actually said that, but you get my point here. It's like they had an answer and they went searching for a person who would give them that answer. And he worked at Celebrate, as it turns out. And as it turns out, the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office pays hundreds of thousands of dollars to Celebrate. So Celebrate's going to dance the way the Norfolk DAs wants them to. This is also exactly 1 month to the day before the hostage video comes out on August 25th. And so after they win this, the defense wins this motion. They are not gagged. And a month after, then the prosecution's like, well, fuck it. We're going to do it too. We're going to use the media too, except they're not nearly as good at it. And what all they got was the hostage video and crusty panties and Kofen doofus. That was their response to the, that was their PR response to this.
And then, of course, both Chief Rafferty and the Norfolk DA spokesman, David Trout, claimed that they were ethically constrained from commenting, but that didn't stop them from commenting anyway, publicly stating essentially that the defense is not to be trusted. So again, I ask you, Your Honor, where was the prosecution when all of that was going on? Where was the request for a gag order then? It's a rhetorical question, of course, because there were none.
None.
The prosecution was perfectly happy to have potential jurors hear all of this unfairly prejudicial information about Karen Reed because it would help their pathetically weak case that they brought against her. The case is pathetically weak because they've arrested the wrong person, yet inexplicably they refused to admit it.
Yep.
They were quite happy with the press this case was getting when it was in their favor, and their minions were out doing their work with the media. Of course, once the evidence, started to trickle in, the tide turned, and it did turn in a big way. In May of this year, Your Honor, we displayed the injuries to John O'Keefe's arm, I should say. Injuries that cannot be explained by a sudden motor vehicle collision. And all of a sudden, people took notice. And they started to question, hey, what really happened here? That was a seminal moment when everyone started to realize Karen Reed did not do this, but somebody else did. And for the purposes of this motion, it's important to note that the statements that we've talked about made by the Commonwealth and its representatives, some of those were made after we announced the existence of this exculpatory evidence in court. And it is also salient that our statements were made in court. In court. Their statements were made out of court. Can you imagine the hypocrisy of the prosecution now coming before this court to suggest that a gag order is appropriate? How dare they? Not only is it not appropriate, it's unconstitutional. Not only is it unconstitutional, it is anti-constitutional.
Anti-constitutional. Anti-constitutional. I love that.
U.S. citizens have a First Amendment right to speak out, consistent with our ethical duties as lawyers representing a client who's been falsely charged with a crime.
Yep.
We believe, moreover, that we don't just have that right. We have a duty to defend our client against the misinformation and the prejudicial statements put forth by the prosecution and their allies. Our founding fathers recognized that the power of the state is immense and can be far too powerful.
Yes.
So they enacted the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights. In its motion, the Commonwealth cites certain cases to support its request that the parties be gagged, but none of those cases stand for the proposition that a criminal defendant or her attorneys should be gagged. All of those cases address situations where the prosecution's acted impermissibly.
So true. And I mean, just think how much has changed since this speech. 658 days ago, and the defense has not changed. They're saying the same story. The Commonwealth has gone from 3-point turn to she went up 62 feet and then gunned it in reverse. And it's like, and oh yeah, then also she came back and looked at the body, and oh yeah, actually she hit him at 12:31, and then he stumbled backwards and fell. Oh wait, or was it a pirouette that she did and actually hit him in the arm? They had no explanation. We did not have an explanation for the arm cuts until trial. That's the first time we heard their fucking, because we were all wondering how the fuck are they going to explain the arm? And they just make shit up as they go along. They arrested this woman based on I hit him. That's fucking it. And some taillight pieces that the mystery man from the Sallyport video fucking planted there.
In poisoning the well against the defendant like they did in this case. The prosecution has the resources. They have access to local and state police departments. They have access to crime laboratories. And none of those resources cost them a dime.
None of them.
Karen Reed, on the other hand, has been forced to defend herself on her own dime. And by dime, I mean hundreds of thousands of dollars when she has no income as a result of these false charges. Thank God that a legal defense fund has been established to help her defend herself. She would not be able to do so without the help of perfect strangers and good Samaritans.
Yes, let's go.
Recognize the worthiness
Free Karen Reed.
Fighting the injustice in this case. So, the Commonwealth's motion for a gag order is is hypocritical, it's unconstitutional, it's unsupported by case law. But let's shift for a moment, Judge, and talk about what would it accomplish. Will a gag order stop the media coverage of this case as I hear cameras going off behind my shoulder? Look at this courtroom. Does the prosecution think that if they stuff a gag in the mouths of Karen Reed's attorneys, that these good reporters behind me
This is awesome.
are simply going to go
This is
away?
excellent.
Do they think that the general public's going to go away?
No.
I think it's quite clear There is zero chance of that. The press is onto them. The press is onto this case. The press is not going away. The public is now quite interested and vocal. If you gather, Your Honor, the extrajudicial conversation will not end. If anything, it will only intensify.
Never.
A gag order will simply mean that we can't participate in it to correct misinformation and defend our client. And consider what that means. It means that the McCabe's and the Alberts and the Proctors of the world and all of their followers who have their heads in the sand and refuse to consider the outlandishness of the prosecution's theory say whatever they want.
Yes.
They can talk about burying the body of reporters under a judge's house. They can slander and libel and smear.
Me, I'm the reporter.
We would be powerless to respond. How does that make any sense?
Doesn't.
We are well aware of our ethical duties. We have complied with them. We will continue to comply with the rules of professional responsibility and criminal procedure. We did not create this media circus. The prosecution did. We have every right to respond to their lies and misrepresentations. And in closing, Your Honor, it is said that sunlight is the best disinfectant. We ask you, Your Honor, no, we implore you, not to partially block out that sunlight by prohibiting Karen Reed's attorneys from defending her both inside and outside the court.
Amen. That was
I
awesome.
take this motion under advisement. Mr. Jackson, you said we still have outstanding.
How awesome was that speech? So Bukkake sits there and watches the whole thing. So this is the hearing that he is now testifying. He's like, this is the first time I learned about the relationship between the Proctors and the McAlberts at that hearing because of you guys, as if he wasn't paying attention to this shit beforehand. Like, are you kidding me? And so he goes on here. Oh God, look at Jill Thomas is there. Oh, that angry looking ginger one is there too.
Along with Michael Proctor.
That was
final question, Sergeant.
People keep asking the date. That was July 25th, 2023. That was the first time I held a protest on the courthouse stairs. You might have seen some of we had all our signs and I had the megaphone and we were killing it that day. That was like the beginning of activist Turtle Boy. I was feeling fresh 3 days after the rolling rally, feeling good. And this is when they were like starting to think like, we got to do something about this guy. We got to find a way to make this illegal. Find a way. We'll find a way. It wasn't illegal when I did it in July of 2023. I got arrested 3 months later, right? They were like, how can we make this illegal? That's the way they thought this through. How can we make this illegal?
I think I asked this, but let me make sure I'm clear. Your interview along with Michael Proctor with Chris and Julie Albert was February 10th, 2022, correct?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm not certain on that, but I believe it was.
Okay. Well, let me just clear that up real quick. Refresh your recollection. Did you report?
Yes, absolutely.
Looks at the report. Okay.
Back to Canton PD. Did you at some point recover some videos or a series of electronic data that purported to be videos from Canton PD in furtherance of your investigation?
Yes.
And to whom did you deliver these videos and whom were they requested by?
The initial request was by Michael Proctor. I delivered them to him.
Okay. Since that delivery, have you seen these videos?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Have you shown it or discussed this with Mr. Brennan?
I just discussed it with Mr. Brennan. That's right.
What's the Commonwealth's position? I have no idea what it is.
Sure. Mark, yes. The outside camera, just to establish the foundation so we know what we're talking about, did you see on some of the electronic devices that you picked up in furtherance of this investigation, video of somebody outside, now the outside cameras or outside camera view at Canton PD at about 1:30 in the morning on January 29th, 2022?
All right. So now they're going to play the Higgins stuff. I kind of went over this stuff yesterday. Again, it's fucking weird. Let's just go through the highlights of it real quick. Like, he's seen this and doesn't think any of this is like shady. So there's Higgins getting there. He drives his white Jeep. He goes in.
Super blurry.
He goes inside. Okay. And then like this whole thing right here, just look at him with the hoodie. Look how shady this looks. This dude just walking around like this. This ain't right. Like, what is happening? This guy's been drinking all night and he's like, I'm going to go to the Canton police and clock in and move some cars around. Okay. It's honestly better for the defense. Not calling this guy is a huge mistake, because when they get Higgins on the stand, he does his little hair with the part, and he puts his suit on, and he, does his heavy accent. And he's a loudspeaker, and, he acts like he's like a real federal agent. Like he comes across as professional when he's up on the stand. And now he's just a creepy dude with a hoodie on, like who's acting drunk on video. And clearly the defense is making a thing out of him. Just look at this dude. He's a shady guy in a hoodie walking around. Like, this guy's up to no good. How does Spanky not call this guy and try to rehabilitate his image? I understand he's a liability, but like, how do you not try to rehabilitate this guy's image by putting him on the stand? I don't want to give them any ideas, but what the fuck? This is not a good look for him. He's a creepy looking dude walking around the police department with a hoodie on. Like,
your video, if you don't know exactly where.
Like, ask Trayvon Martin how that worked out. It's not a good look.
Your video of Canton PD?
From the facilities, yes.
Okay. And describe the person that you see in the foreground at the bottom of the screen.
Appears to be wearing a black sweatshirt, a hooded sweatshirt.
Larger in stature, smaller in stature, can you tell?
I'd be speculating because there's no comparison, but possibly larger. I don't know.
Okay, let's go and play it. And that's it for that.
So then they get him there, and then they got him. Then what's this? They're looking at the times. He's got him going in there. Okay. And then he's got him in here. All right. He's got him in there. Let's see. Like, what is he doing? Oh, wait. Do they have him in the police station? Yeah, this whole video. They got this thing. And I know some people are focusing on the sweatshirt, and I don't even want to go over that. It's Higgins. I don't know what else to tell you. This is Brian Higgins. Let's keep it simple, guys. It's Brian Higgins. Okay. And Brian Higgins is there, and he's dicking around. The question is, what's he doing here? He said he was doing some administrative work, which means he's moving cars around. He was doing a lot more than that. And we'd like to know what. Like, this was not, the defense wasn't given this. This was hidden from them. And by the way, Bev, no grave concerns over that. No grave concerns over that. Also not a grave concern is the fact that the last trial, an inverted video of the Sallyport garage was shown.
Let's go and play this.
So he goes in there. He stays in there for 6 minutes. Whatever this door is. Can anybody read? A lot of you guys are focusing on the shoes and the hoodie. You know what you should be focusing on? What the fuck this says right here? That's what I want to know. What's inside this door? That's what I want to know. Is what is inside that door that he needed to get to. That's what, instead of focusing on the sweatshirt, focus on that. I don't think I can zoom. I mean, it would probably be blurry if I zoomed in. No, doesn't work. Okay. I can't read it. All right. Peter Murphy might be able to tell us. That's true. Although he's been retired for like 10 years. So anyway, so then he comes out and he goes outside. All right. Walks out, goes back to the car, and then he's on the phone here.
Pause. What do you see in that video?
Listen to this.
It appears to be an individual wearing a black beanie hat, black dark colored sweatshirt with some design on it, and something illuminating by his face.
Can we enhance the time, please?
Something illuminating.
What time is that?
It says 1:34 and 53 seconds in the morning, a.m.
And if you could move the screen over to the individual. Cool. Does that appear to be the same person?
It could possibly be, yeah.
And does it appear as something in his hands up to his face, the right side of his face or ear?
Yes.
What do you think that is?
It's consistent with a cellular device, possibly a phone or a tablet.
Okay. We can move on, please. Play that through. I believe there's one more video. And you're on this one.
A tablet, a cell phone or a tablet. Oh my God. Imagine just walking out with a tablet going like that. I mean, is this guy for real? The lies these people tell.
Is a little longer. This is about 10 minutes. Okay. With the court's permission, I'd like to play this through.
And then there's this whole pokey doke. All right. So he does move some sort of car, right? You guys said. So there's Higgins. He goes and what does he do first? Okay. Is this when he puts the lights on in that other car? Yeah, this is the truck right here. There he is. Now, I don't know if he did this on purpose to, because you obviously can't see this blur shit. But that's like, come on. He ain't that smart to know that like this camera is you're not gonna be able to see shit if you turn the lights on. That's a bit much. I don't think that's, he'd have to test that out. Like, I don't buy that, but I do wonder, like, he didn't mention anything about turning cars on and idling them and taking things out of it. Like, what is he doing? He did move a car before this, I believe, but what is happening here? And why does he have access? Whose cars are these? Why does he have access to all of them? Are these work cars? We need answers. We need answers. What's going on?
Can you pause it? Did you see something happen with the vehicle next to the Jeep in the last few seconds?
Yes.
What was that?
It appears as though the headlights are activated.
Okay, let's go and play it. Right to screen, left in the middle of the screen.
Yes, he just or she just appears to have closed the door on that vehicle next to the plow.
Okay. And walking toward which vehicle?
The one on the furthest on the left.
Okay. From what you've seen, Sergeant, that you said he or she, does that person appear to be consistent with the video that we've seen?
Tough to tell.
But no reason to believe it now.
They accessed the vehicle
So
on the far left.
So like, what is he doing here? So he turns the lights on to the car. For what reason? Does he need to see what's happening here? What is he doing right now? Why does he need to be doing this right now? These guys, I mean, have you ever done this before? Go out to the bar with your boys, play a little grab ass, do the Heimlich maneuver, message the girl that you've been flirting with and say, well, you know, go to the after party at your friend's house, leave early because all they have is beer and all you drink is Jameson and ginger. And then you're like, you know what I'm going to do now for a nightcap? I'm going to go to the Kearney Police Department and fart around and just dick around in the parking lot. And I'm going to go in this car for a bit and no one's going to know what I'm doing. And then I'm going to go turn the lights on in this one. And then I'm going to walk around. What the fuck is going on here? I don't know what the fuck he's doing. And I'm not going to pretend to know. And I'm not going to come up with any theories for what he's doing because I can't prove any of that. But all I know is this is all reasonable doubt. Everything you're seeing, and I hope the defense points this out in their summation, all of this is reasonable doubt. Everything Brian Higgins is doing right now creates the possibility that he is up to no good. And it's suspicious behavior that should have been investigated, and it wasn't. And that in and of itself is reasonable doubt for Karen Reed, period.
And where's that person going?
Now they're accessing the Jeep Wrangler.
Now, so he put something in his car, I think, there. And now he gets something out of the back of the truck. Which, by the way, he does own a truck like this that we saw at his house in Sandwich when we went there. I went to his house in Sandwich when I tried to tried to get rid of my phone on an Army base too. I went to his house first. He has a truck just like this in his driveway. It's got one of those hatchbacks with the side things that opens up. And so he just goes into it like he owns it. Like, how many cars does this guy have parked here? What is happening right now? What's in that thing? What is in that truck? What is he doing? At 1:30 in the morning. I know. This is administrative work. That's his work truck? Oh. So he gets back in there now. What is happening? He already ordered his pizza, as 𝗵𝗂𝗏 said. And was he getting medical stuff? Again, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. There's a million. Everybody, I'm sure, will have their own theories about this. In my inbox tomorrow will be filled with people telling me, oh, I think this is what happened. And I don't really give a shit what your theory is. But like, your theory is just as plausible as anyone else's. And the fact is, all of these theories constitute reasonable doubt. He could have, what the fuck was he doing? Was he getting a Faraday bag? Was he getting some cleanup shit that he needed to get? Like, what was he putting in his car? What was happening here?
Is he standing by the vehicle on the far left? SUV or truck?
It appeared that way, but with the heavy whiteout snow that night, I can't tell exactly what they were doing.
Did you see anything in his hand, like a bag or a satchel or a duffel bag or something when that person walked from this vehicle?
Oh, we got to see the bag. I got to see the bag. So he closes it there. And does he has a bag here, right? Okay, yeah. Oh, he's definitely got a bag there. So he's got a bag. It's over his shoulder. What's in that fucking bag? What on earth is in that goddamn bag? That's what I want to know. Something's in that goddamn bag, dude. And then he does all this. He goes back to the house. Clearly, he doesn't go to West Roxbury, have 2 more drinks, eat a little food, and then, butt dial his friend while he's fucking his wife. That's not happening. He goes back to Brian Albert's house. Now's the hard part. It's like cleaning up the situation that they have here. Doing something. Dude, this is fucking evil, these people, man. Evil. Dude, that's a duffel bag. That's definitely a duffel bag. Clearly.
Before that, did it appear?
So now he goes back to the truck, opens it up again. What's going on here? I don't know. Opens the back door. Let's see what's back there. Did he put something in there?
Now, that person walked off screen to the left?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now what's he holding? Now he's holding something else in his left hand.
Did you see that person entering screen from screen left?
Yes.
It's in the truck. Does he drive?
Right.
And it appears that's the approximate time that the Jeep Wrangler drove off.
Approximately.
Are you friends with Brian Higgins?
I am not.
Do you know Brian Higgins?
I know he is, yes.
Have you ever socialized with Brian Higgins?
Like out on private time?
Go out, have a beer.
No.
See him at a bar. Hey, Brian, let's grab a beer. Nothing like that?
No.
How long have you known Mr. Higgins?
I'd be speculating. It's before this case. He was a law enforcement individual that worked in the area. So I've had cases where he assisted on and that I've assisted on.
Would you consider yourself to have a professional relationship with him?
I knew he was. So yes, I would consider it a professional relationship.
But you would not consider your relationship to have gone over to the personal relationship? You don't
Not at
socialize? Do any private get-togethers?
No.
Okay. You would agree that this video pretty clearly shows, at least at one point, around 1:34 a.m.
You notice how now I don't believe he had a personal relationship with Brian Albert, but just notice the way he says that. Like that's how you could tell he's being truthful. It's when he's like, no. Like that when he's like assertive in his answers. That's when Bukkake is being truthful. When Bukkake is lying, it's like he takes forever to answer it and he's really evasive. Like notice how quickly he answers that. Like no. Like, and I believe that. I think he's telling the truth there. I think there's a difference between his truthful comments and his
Brian Higgins
deceitful
was on
ones.
his phone.
Is that the one that he has the device by his face?
Correct.
It appears that way, yes.
And just to be clear, when you interviewed Mr. Higgins, he did not volunteer to give you his phone, correct?
He did not volunteer, no.
And you didn't seek his phone through a warrant or any other mechanism?
I did not know.
Do you have any personal knowledge as to the status of that phone as we sit here today?
The one that he got the extractions from?
Correct.
No idea. No.
I want to shift gears to another series of videos. Last year at another proceeding, you were asked about a couple of videos from the interior Sallyport garage at Kenton PD. So now we're going to move to the interior. You remember those series of questions and answers that you gave?
Generally.
Okay. You were asked at another proceeding to describe when the SUV, Ms. Reed's SUV, first arrived at the Sallyport garage around 5:30 or so, correct?
Yeah, okay.
Being asked a series of questions concerning the arrival of that SUV, pulling it into the. Under questioning by the Commonwealth, you were asked whether the video that you were looking at fairly and accurately represented the SUV arriving at the Sallyport garage, correct?
Yes.
And you indicated, in fact, it did fairly and accurately depict the arrival of the SUV at the Sallyport garage. Is that right?
That's correct.
That's correct. Is this a sidebar? Okay, and then I think they do the voir dire here. I don't know if the voir dire has started, but this is the lunch
Here right
break.
now to see what Sergeant Buchanan knew regarding that line of.
Okay, so this is the voir dire. Okay, so this is now the jury's gone, and they want us to be able to see, can this guy talk about what he knew about Proctor's relationship with the McAlberts? This is like the test, and he lies throughout this whole thing. He just plays dumb because he does not want to talk about Proctor's relationship with the McAlberts. He doesn't want to pretend like he knew anything about this. So he wants to prohibit. He knows if he pretends like he doesn't know anything, then the judge is not going to allow Alan Jackson to question him about this in front of the jury.
Testimony you wanted to get into. So let's do that now, and then you can all work out the video issues.
Yes. Okay. May I inquire briefly?
Yes.
Thank you. Sergeant, we were talking before the jury left, we were talking a little bit about the conversation that you had with Michael Proctor, either during or just before, just after that first interview with Chris and Julie Albert. What I'd like to ask you is, what information did you have and what did you ultimately learn about their relationship? You said there were some accusations and we never really got to the heart of it. What did you know and what did you do to investigate? What did you learn?
What I knew as we were walking up to the door is that he had knowledge of the individuals prior to us conducting the interview. I asked him if he knew them personally. My words, do you hang out with them? Do you socialize with them? He said, no, I do not. I said, are you comfortable doing this interview? And he said, yes. And me being a complete outsider and his supervisor and realizing if there was any impropriety that I would step in and recognize it, report it, and act on that. The interview was conducted without issue and we moved on.
It's just like who's these guys think they're fooling? They're like, Mr. like, oh yeah, I'm by the book completely. He told me he kind of knew them and, you know, we conducted the interview. It was a real serious interview. Again, they're doing this whole, like, we're a real police thing. We put our gloves on when we open up boxes. We're real serious about this.
As a matter of fact, one of the things in Trooper Proctor's report, it said the report started with following formal introductions. Did that suggest to you that Trooper Proctor had no knowledge of who Chris or Julie Albert were from a personal standpoint?
Not at all. I believe maybe I wrote the report, or was it him?
Yeah, I think it is you.
Yeah, so
yes.
Just so you had a possible relationship between Michael.
He did, but I had formal introductions to them. I never met them before in my life.
You said that subsequently you learned about your word accusations that had been made concerning possible relationship between Michael Proctor and the Alberts. What was that information that you learned?
When was it? I need that.
When did you learn it? I thought you said 2023, but I could be wrong. When did you learn that?
It was I believe, during the July motion proceedings when you guys had pictures up of children.
July what year?
When you guys had pictures up of children, we just watched the July 2023 proceeding. There was no pictures of children at that proceeding, was there? That never happened. So this guy's lying. We can just go, we just watched the entire July 2023 proceeding. He says that he learned about the relationship between the Proctors and the McAlberts at that proceeding because they held up pictures of the family. No, we watched the whole thing. That never happened. So you couldn't have learned about it there. Could you? Could you have?
I believe 2023.
Okay.
Could
what
he
was it
have?
you learned in July 2023 about the potential
The accusations?
Yeah.
That those were Albert's or McCabe's kids in the photograph with Michael Proctor?
Okay. Did you ever learn about personal communications that Michael Proctor or his wife may have had with any of the Albert family, including Julie Albert?
Ever?
Ever.
Yes.
Okay, tell me when you learned that and what you learned in that order.
Well, Michael Proctor had communicated with those individuals. Oh, excuse me, Elizabeth Proctor communicated with those individuals due to the harassment that they've sustained.
Oh my God!
With the crazy behavior that's been imposed on them, and the torturous harassment they've endured, the traumatic,
the torturous. Oh my God! Look at his lips. Where are they? Where are they? The torturous harassment that they've put up. I went to jail. I get charged with a new crime every week. I have to deal with constant anxiety about whether or not I'm going to have my fucking bail revoked. But Lizzie Proctor has dealt with torturous harassment. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Oh my God. I mean, just the tone deafness of this all. So it's okay. He later found out that, yeah, but Elizabeth Proctor does talk to them frequently, but only about the harassment. They're allowed to bond over that. That's fucking crazy. I proved on September 25th, 2023, with the picture of Jennifer McCabe's white Jeep parked outside or in the driveway, or just parked right outside of Michael Proctor's house, that there's a personal social relationship there. And they got caught. And so their excuse for that was, we're just bonding. It's the first time we ever spoke. We don't do the phone. We do in person. And we were bonding and talking about, wow, Turtle Boy's so mean. Oh, I agree. He's so bad, girlfriend. Want some tea?
Experiences they would have to live through. They have communicated. So I've learned about that, yes. I was taking in all of that evidence, hundreds and pieces of evidence that I've archived in order to...
Go ahead. In order to
investigate it.
Okay. You're talking about Elizabeth Proctor well after the fact of the interview and the incident in 2022. That's what you were just describing.
It was after the harassment started, yes.
Which is well after January 29, 2022, right?
January 20, yes, it is.
Okay. I'm asking about information related to a relationship prior to January 29, 2022. Did you ever learn about a pre-existing relationship that may have existed between the Proctor family and the Albert family before January 29, 2022, and maybe a couple of days after?
All I know is that there was a relationship explanation provided by Mr. Lally during one of the motions, and it was like 6 degrees separated by individuals residing in the community, living in the community, raising the kids in the community, working in the community, so making them community members and having relationship within that. I don't know the extent of those relationships.
Yeah, there's 6 degrees of separation. They're acting like these people barely know each other. Like Michael Proctor's own mother didn't state on Facebook that the Proctors were a, quote, second family.
Okay. Did you, during that hearing where you said there were pictures of kids and et cetera, that July 2023 hearing, did you see a Facebook post during the course of that hearing wherein the Albert family called the Proctor family their second family, or vice versa, where the Proctor family, Michael Proctor's mother, they called the Alberts their second family? Remember that Facebook post?
I don't remember seeing that post. I just remember there was like a picture of kids that weren't Michael Proctor's kids.
Okay, but you were in court.
So that he doesn't remember that, he says. He doesn't remember hearing. This is the first time he's heard about this. That Michael Proctor's mom commented on a Facebook post saying that the Proctors were a second family. It's the first time he's ever heard about that. Let me see when I broke that story. TV Daily News, Michael Proctor, mother, second family. What comes up? That would be, on Can't Cover Up Part 155. No, it would have been before this. I forget what day I found that out on. But if you'll recall, there was another hearing on September 15th, 2023, and I was there for that, of course. And this was the hearing on September 15th, 2023, where Alan Jackson held a press conference on the courthouse steps afterwards and said, "We ain't got no quit." And at that press conference, let me see if I can find this. September 15th, 2023, Karen Reed hearing. Let's see what comes up. Outside, let's see. Let's see if I can find it. I'll find it. I know I got it on my twat. Let me pull up my twat. What are these people saying? Unless Karen Reed is in the hospital, it is unforgivable to put those kids through any more trauma. Imagine getting yourself ready to testify in your guardian's murder case and getting to court only to be called the court is canceled. Right. Yeah, it's Karen Reed's fault. She's the bad person, right? Being framed for murder, but yeah, right. Okay. Besides that, you make a good point. Okay. Let me see what we got here. Thought I had a picture of. Oh, here it is. This one. This picture right here. This is September 15th, 2023. And on the courthouse steps, you got a whole thing here about how the Proctors are a second family to the Alberts. And at that hearing, and you got his mother's Facebook post on there. This one. Chris Albert shares a picture. Karen Proctor says, the Proctors' second family, the Alberts. That is their second family. They're not just friends, they're a second family. His mother says that. And so imagine if somebody in his second family was involved in a murder and Michael Proctor, her son, has the ability to make that disappear. Oh, yeah, but no, totally not possible. Nothing like that ever happens. No. That's a conspiracy theory. So the date is important. September 15th, 2023. Bukkake goes on to testify that he didn't attend that. He says he didn't attend this hearing and so he didn't hear any of this stuff because the September 15th hearing, they go heavy on the McAlbert stuff, heavy on the McAlbert relationship with the Proctors, right? They really hammer that home. I think David Yannetti calls him, he goes, I don't call him conflicted state trooper anymore. I call him corrupt state trooper because that's what he is. He's corrupt. That was a great speech. And so that was awesome. And then Bukkake claims he's never heard of this because he wasn't there that day, except there's just one problem with that. There's just one problem with that. This video was also shot on September 15th. It says right here, September 15th, 2023, right outside the courthouse. What happens? Who do I see?
Sergeant Bukkake, are you trying to arrest me for wiretapping? Why were you talking about me during your whole interview with 𝗫𝗏𝗏 Laughlin? What have you done to follow up on the Fort Edge? What have you done? What have you done to follow up on that Fort Edge that 𝗫𝗏𝗏 Laughlin told you about? Why did you not interview?
I mean, just look at this guy. It's like, by the way, I'm the only one that was charged with witness intimidation in this because I had a bullhorn. Not that I don't think anyone else should, but it's just funny how I'm the only one charged for the rolling rally, the only one charged for the window intimidation. It's just me. It's all my fault. Everything's my fault.
Interview 𝗫𝗏𝗏 Laughlin. Why did you not interview 𝗫𝗏𝗏 Laughlin, sir, until August 10th?
Does this guy look like a guy who's scared, by the way? He's like taking his sweet time, taking his jacket off in the car, making sure that we can see he's armed and has his badge on him. More importantly, though, he said he didn't know anything about that relationship between the Proctors and the McAlberts because he didn't go to court anymore. But here he is coming out of court. There's no way he didn't see all this. There's no fucking way. There was just a goddamn press conference on the stairs holding up that fucking sign. That's why I'm showing this, because he lied.
Are you ashamed, sir? I mean, is this why you went to the academy, to cover for punks like Michael Proctor. You're Michael Proctor's bitch.
Oh.
That's what you are, son. You're Michael Proctor's little bitch. You're a fucking pig. You're a disgrace. You're a fucking.
And then this, he rolls the window down. If he's intimidated, why is he rolling the window down? What do you want to just get the fuck out of there? By the way, there's 3 state troopers standing right there in case he feels unsafe at all.
And these 2 guys here, they know it. They're looking at you right now like this guy's a fucking joke. I can't believe I have to wear the same uniform as this clown, as this corrupt pig. Look at you. Look at you. You freaking pig. You disgust me. You disgust me. You loser. You loser. You freaking loser. Bukkake loser.
He did flip me the bird. Yeah, so I got charged. That was a felon. You guys just witnessed felony witness intimidation there. He told the grand jury he was scared. He was very scared when that happened. So this guy is lying now under oath, claiming that he doesn't know anything about that.
I was in court in July. I was 23rd of July for the motion. Yeah.
Leaving aside the photographs that you talked about, did you see the post, the Facebook post about those 2 families, specifically Michael Proctor's mom, saying that the Alberts were their, quote, second family?
I don't remember seeing that post.
I don't remember seeing that post. Liar.
Strike you, or that was not in your brain, in your head.
I don't think I've ever seen a post like that. So I just remember seeing the post of the kids.
What
it
about
was Miss Little that was holding up the poster?
What about the text messages, or what about any text messages between Michael Proctor and his sister concerning 𝗵𝗄𝗆𝗆, very specifically concerning 𝗵𝗄𝗆𝗆𝗆? Are you aware of those?
No.
Have you ever seen a text message between between Courtney Proctor and, this is Courtney.
So this is on. He's talking about the messages in which they talk about offering a gift to Michael Proctor. That came out on February 26th, 2024. The hearing I was kicked out of because the fake victim showed up at it, right? He says he didn't attend that hearing. He might not have. I don't know. But that's where it came out. And so he's acting like he's never heard of this shit before. Like, this is crazy. There's no way. This guy has not listened to the first trial testimony. Like, he's just completely oblivious to all of these serious allegations about Michael Proctor, which, by the way, is like malpractice. Like, if you're completely unaware of this shit that's all over the news, you and like this guy, you're in charge of him. That's malpractice on your part if you really don't know anything about this. But he does. He's just lying.
Courtney Proctor and Michael Proctor, where the sister says, Julie wants to give you a gift because you're doing such a great job leading this, meaning this investigation. You've heard that?
No.
Are you aware of a text message?
Never heard of it. No.
Michael Proctor responds, get it for my wife. Meaning, if you're going to give us a gift, get the gift for my wife.
No idea.
Does anybody actually believe that this is his first time hearing this? This is crazy.
Are you aware of a series of text messages between and among Michael Proctor and...
I mean, this is obstruction of justice. This guy is lying on the stand during a voir dire because he knows if he says he's never heard of any of this stuff, then Alan Jackson cannot question him in front of the jury about Michael Proctor's relationship because he knows that Michael Proctor's not going to get called by the defense. So if they can't get it through him, how are they going to get it?
In which they talk about, between Michael Proctor and Courtney Proctor, in which they talk about Julie Albert. This is 10 days before the incident, 10 days before January 29th, so mid-January, where they talk about the possibility of Julie Albert babysitting for Michael Proctor and Elizabeth Proctor's kids.
I'm not aware of those text messages.
Never heard of it.
Of these text messages?
The text messages that I'm describing, have you ever heard of any of those?
No.
Did you ever talk to or investigate the circumstance of the possibility, even the remote possibility,
right,
that Michael Proctor may have had a relationship with the Alberts that you were unaware of?
And that's the whole thing, Rights On, our OnlyFans. Sorry, those are Rights On. It's like he knows there's no way to prove he's lying. I mean, it's tough. I got video of him there on the 15th, but I guess you could say I was just not listening. I just wasn't paying attention to what you guys were talking about. I didn't see the sign afterwards, but I did catch him there. He said he wasn't there. He was there. I escorted him to his car.
No, I never investigated anything like that.
So after your initial conversation with Mr. Proctor, where he said, I know of these people, and you said, is there any issue with you going forward? And he said, no, there's no issue. You took no further steps after that to investigate that relationship. And I'm talking about the relationship that existed on or around January 29th, 2022, not in 2023, not in 2024.
Once Michael Proctor stated that he was comfortable conducting the interview, and I asked him if he was sure, and he said yes, we moved on.
Yeah, just one more.
Yes.
You see Karen Reed whispering to him, I love how involved in her defense she is. She's like an extra member of the defense team. This is why we all root for Karen Reed, because she's so likable and intelligent and is an active part of her defense team. And whatever she said, you know, Alan Jackson's obviously got a lot of respect for her. And he whatever he says right here, Karen just told him.
In court, I know you're indicating that you've never heard about these messages. Were you in court in February of 2024 following the federal investigation revelation, the documents that we got from the both sides got from the federal investigation, which revealed in open court the text messages about gift giving between Courtney Proctor and Michael Proctor, a June investigation gift, and Michael Proctor's response was, get it for my wife. Were you in court if those were reviewed?
Following the harassment, intimidation that I experienced on the 23rd, being followed to the bathroom, then being followed outside, I stopped coming to court proceedings due to that.
Whoa.
So I was not in.
Were you in court if those were reviewed?
Following the harassment, intimidation that I experienced on the 23rd, being followed to the bathroom, then being followed outside.
So he goes, following the harassment, intimidation I occurred on the 23rd, he means the 25th of July, I stopped coming to court. He says that he stopped coming to court after July 25th. That's a lie, because he came to court on September 15th. I know this because I escorted him to his car, and it's on fucking video. So this is a lie. He is lying right here when he says he did not come to court on past September 25th, because I escorted him to the bathroom on July 25th. I escorted him to his car on September 15th. Those are different days. He came both times.
I stopped coming to court proceedings due to that. So I was not in court in February of 2024 and describing the information that you're revealing. I was not aware of that detail.
All these proceedings are televised. Sorry, you know that, right?
I'm not aware that it's televised, no.
I was not aware.
But I'm not aware that it's televised.
Okay, stream. Whatever you want to call it. Streamed on the internet. You can find it.
You can, yes.
They're recorded.
Right.
Did you ever review the hearing in February 2024 talking about what's been referred to as the Fed dump and the revelations that were made pursuant to that federal investigation and the text messages intended there too?
I am aware of a Fed dump. I'm aware that it exists. I was not privileged to any information outside of the information that was revealed to me during the internal affairs investigation.
Right.
That was the first time I saw documents from that federal investigation.
By the way, were you privy to, Michael, there were 3 individuals involved in the investigation, yourself, Lieutenant Tully, and Michael Proctor, is that right?
In what investigation?
The internal affairs investigation.
I'm aware that I was. I know they were as well. I don't know who else might have been involved. I don't know.
In terms of your awareness of Michael Proctor's investigation, you're aware, obviously, he was terminated, correct?
I'm aware that he's terminated, yes.
Did you ever see or were privy to any of the documents or investigative materials associated with his termination as his supervisor?
No.
So nothing was ever shared with you, the final
other than the documents that he was attached in the text message that I was shown from that investigation? Nobody showed me anything of his investigation.
No.
Okay, so let's wrap this up.
Okay, that was basically all that.
Okay, all right. Do you want to be heard, Mr. Jackson?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not letting any of this in.
I think it's all.
It's just like, I'm not letting any, that's that. She's like, he just gets up there and lies, and it's just like, you can't prove he's not lying. It's just too much. You know, fucking liar. Absolute goddamn liar. So, anyway, fuck him. All right, cool. We'll stop there. Let me read some turtle chats here. All right, who do we got up here? Oh, it's midnight, and we got still over 10,000 of you fucking people on here. Awesome. And we got court tomorrow. I love you fucking people. Next up, which of these have I read? Okay, Christine sends $10 and goes, I get hate email whenever you get arrested because I'm an avid Turtle Boy fan. I'm also proud to be hated by pieces of shit. Yeah, heat Mimo when I'm arrested, huh? Interesting. Okay. Sonia sends $20 and goes, "Hi, Aidan. We met at the Halloween party last year. Thanks for your tenacity. We need more of you with masshole roots. We've got this. Free Karen Reed, free Turtle Boy. Higgins did it. Convinced after the recent micro dots." Yeah, I got to go watch Richie's new videos. Thank you very much for that, Sonia. $10 for Where's Your Award says, "All I want to know is where's Brian Albert's supervisor? Did he ever work again after John's murder? Was he injured? Did he go to the funeral?" I don't understand the question. Brian Albert's supervisor, did he go to the funeral? I don't know. Thank you. Amy sends $8 and says, "We worked together back in high school at Maurice's." Oh, Maurice the Pants Man. Oh, that was one of my first jobs. Maurice the Pants Man. It's not there. It hasn't been there for a long time, but I hated that job because working in clothing, it sucks. The time moves so slowly, and our boss was the worst. Gary, he sucked. So proud of you, what you are doing. I know you will fight all of these charges and will win. Free Turtle Boy and free Karen Reed. Well, thank you very much. I had a lot of high school jobs. Let me tell you, I went through jobs like crazy back in the day, a lot of them, but that was one of them. Thank you. Tara sends $100 and says, "Higgy Shady, not Slim Shady." I agree. Gerald sends $10, goes, "Probably a Melanie or Mark question, but do you know if Hank can prep Proctor if he isn't calling him?" That is a Melanie or Mark question. And it's actually a really good question that I'd be interested in knowing the answer to. So ask him, Mark is like going to be, although the Celtics are on tomorrow. I don't know if he's going to be watching, if he's going to be on tomorrow. But yeah, I would definitely ask him that. Ask Melanie that. She'll answer you. So they would know better than me. A-Rod sends $10, goes, "John O'Keefe, friend that douchebag John Jackson, who always puts his fat face on all the documentaries to say he knew Karen was guilty when she hired Yannetti. Karen's first interview was not even with Yannetti yet. Higgins told Bukkake he will not speak to them without his lawyer. Let's ask John Jackson, is Higgins guilty?" Good question, A-Rod. I appreciate it. David sends $10 and goes, "Hey, Turtle Boy, I firmly believe Colin is involved in this. I ask you, what teenage kid goes up to his mommy and daddy and kisses them goodnight after being out drinking all night? I can't even get a kiss goodnight. My daughter's 10 and she's too cool to kiss me goodnight now. It's like, there's no way Colin Albert's doing that. Like, she's like reaching the age now where it's like too cool for that shit, You could still get it out of her if she's really in a bind. You know what I mean? When they're like scared or desperate, that's when they really want you. But at this age, they're like too cool, for that. So, but not Colin Albert. Colin Albert does that into his 20s. Right. Okay. All right. Next up. David. No, I read that one. Donna sends $25 and goes, "Dr. Turtle, my attorney contacted you to help with law aspects for your podcast for free, which I am addicted to. You are the real deal." I think I know who your attorney is. You don't have to read this portion, but his name is, did I hear from him? I don't know what you mean by law aspects of my podcast, but he is very good. You are the real deal. Thank you. I'll have to go through my emails. Thank you for that one. Jan from Norway sends $5 and says, "A Faraday bag will only block signals and not health data. In other words, just cellular traffic, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi." Thank you, Jan. Heather sends $10 and goes, "Any chance you will be at CrimeCon Denver in September? I would love to meet you. I will be sporting my free Karen Reed gear." Funny you'd ask that question. And I'm going to hold off on answering that for now. But I would like to go to CrimeCon. Let's just put it that way. And maybe in 2 weeks, I'll have more to say about that. So thank you. I heard anybody else go to CrimeCon out there? And I'd love to meet you, if I do that. It's in Denver this year. I've never been to Denver, never been to Colorado. It's one of my states I haven't been to. and it's kind of an important state, so I should go there, you know. So hopefully, is anybody else going to CrimeCon? I don't know. Do people go to that? Is that a big thing? I didn't know much about it, but apparently it's like a big thing. A lot of people go to this shit, I guess. I don't know. But okay. Next up. Let's see. I don't know if we have any Denver Turtle Riders in the house or anything like that. Oh, I'm here in Denver. You just can't. Awesome. You can buy shrooms. Note that me and Gretchen can have a great time out there, I guess. And speaking of, how the Denver Nuggets doing? They winning right now? They were just up by 10. I checked a couple seconds ago, and now they're down 6. Oh, they blew it. They blew it. All right. Anyway, back to this. Kof and Doofus goes. Good. Good. Glad to hear that. Okay. All right. Back to these turtle chats here. PETA Chip sends $10 and says, remember when Jill Daniels yelled, what about Higgins, when she was telling at you? It makes a lot more sense now. And yes, I have seen Denver's baseball team. It's not very good. But yeah, with Jill Daniels, definitely. Did she say that? Do I have a clip of that?
Look, you're calling yourself a turtle. A turtle. Do you know what that means? A turtle. Guess what?
No,
shut the fuck up.
we're getting a little off track.
Your life. Shut the fuck up.
No, that's not it. That's not it. Sorry, I'll find it later. Okay. All right, back to this. Lady sends $5 and says, I'm on the West Coast and need to know how early to set my alarm. Do you think there will be court tomorrow? There should be, as long as Karen's not sick again. Absolutely. Jesse sends $10 and says, do you find it suspicious that Higgins didn't reply to Karen's John died text at 11:54 a.m.? It makes him look guilty. Also, it makes Jackson miss the car moving at 1:37 in the Canton police video. I don't know about that, but I do. The him not texting back thing is interesting because, you know, first of all, it was at 11:54, so that's like right after Karen got out of the hospital. And it's interesting that one of the first people she texted to tell about John's death is Higgins. You know, even though she's been ghosting him, it is a mutual friend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he knows John, I guess. And Higgins is like, oh, I know, I killed him. So he didn't mention that part, but he doesn't write back. I did think that was odd. No reply to that text. Interesting. But by that point, you know, he was fully acting like he thought Karen did it. So there's that. All right, next up. A-Rod sends $10, goes, how weird that Hanky called Ryan Nagel and Heather Maxson back to back, yet he has not called Ricky D'Antano, who was the one driving, and mainly the one who was not drunk out of the three of them in the truck. His observation is solid since he was not wasted. I bet you that's by design. The turtle, you know, sends $5 and says Bukkake was definitely prepped by Brennan, but not the way you'd think. Brennan was seen giving Bukkake an enema in the courthouse bathroom. Oh, interesting. Just before day 3 of the cross. The Commonwealth bleaches assholes. I believe that. Thank you. Aaron sends $5 and goes, happy 5 years clean and sober to me. Question, if there happens to be another mistrial, do you think the Commonwealth goes for a round 3? That's the question of congratulations on your sobriety. But that's a great question. $1 million question. I don't see why not. I don't see why they wouldn't. They have no shame. They don't care about optics. And they're obsessed with Karen Reed. I just don't. A sane, ethical prosecutor would actually ponder that question and likely decide no. You know, I can't do this again, but I will. I will say that. I cannot do this again. I don't want to do this again, but I will if necessary. Like, I'm not going anywhere. And I don't think anyone will. Like, this will only get bigger if they do that. You know what I mean? So, again, it's an election year, but I don't think he gives a shit. I don't think he gives a shit, 𝗺cie. You know, so there's that. Like, I feel so bad for her attorneys who have already sacrificed so much of their time away from their families for this and have a right to get back to their lives as well. Like, this is their life is doing this. They have small kids, some of these people, you know, and they can't. They can't. Next up. Allison sends $25 and says, thank you for all your due diligence, resilience, and perseverance. You're the best. Keep up the good work. Love, Allie B from Tennessee. Allie B from Tennessee. You're the only 10 I see. Thank you. Sofa King, we toted, sends $10 and goes, humor me. Do you think we would find John O'Keefe's DNA in the basement of 34 Fairview if we had permission? Of course, I don't know. I don't know why you'd ask me that question. I wouldn't know more than anyone else. Thank you. Acknowledgement sends $5 and says, I hope this acknowledgement finds you well. Thank you. A longtime watcher, first time Turtle Chat. You are wonderful for all you do. Keep doing what you do best. Free Karen Reed and free Turtle. Well, thank you very much. Acknowledgement. I appreciate that. Nicole sends $10 and goes, sorry for the longer message, but a few points. If these cops had any integrity and honor, they would admit that they got it wrong. Both Albert and Higgins are veterans with no integrity or honor. Real men own up to the shit they do no matter what. Not let a woman have her life ruined because of their actions. The veterans in my life would never. These are disgraced dudes. Yeah, that's what we should call them. Not decorated dudes. Disgraced dudes. Thank you. Eileen sends $5, goes, Jay, Megan on TikTok zoomed in on the sign of the room Higgins enters. It says infrared detector on, thinks he got another cell to use. Interesting. Okay. Thank you. Christina sends $5 and says, that is dispatch. I went back to his direct testimony today. He said dispatch is on the right and is a wood door with double glass windows. He also said he only waved to good. Oh, you guys are great. You guys are good. Figured this shit out. Danielle sends $25 and says, my intention was to see you after court today and give you a hug or a high five, but I got pulled in another direction. I was absolutely there in spirit. Keep on keeping on. We'll always have your back, XO. Well, thank you. And I met a lot of great people there today. My lawyer, first time he's ever been with me in court. It's not Brady, so it's like my civil attorney lawyer. And he was like, are all these people here with you? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, better be on my A game then. And he was great. He was awesome. Thank you. Sean sends $10 and goes, I appreciate your coverage. How long does jury take to acquit? Hopefully fast, man. Hopefully fast, because this is outrageous and they just need to acquit this woman, period. Okay. Let me read any cash apps we have here. EMC sends $10 and goes, listen, Turtle, I hope Doolin dismisses your charges. Me too, EMC. Thank you. Chad sends $5 and goes, you've become the proverbial ham sandwich. Yes, I have. I'm literally a ham sandwich. Thank you, Chad. Charles sends $5 and says, that Yannetti speech gave me chills. Fuck yeah. It was great. Reliving the greatest hits today, huh? Because I know a lot of people are new to Karen Reed, and we got to go over to how this movement started, man. It's been over 2 years in the making. So thank you, Charles. Appreciate that, sir. Jeannie sends $25 and says, newsflash, Sean on the sauce is dating Ashley St Angelo. Interesting. No, I can't confirm that. Thank you. Michael sends $5 and goes, think there is a small part of Lalli that wants NG. What's NG? I don't know. Thank you, Michael. Suzanne sends $5 and goes, I can't buy merch in the store, only memberships. So we are currently in the process right now of changing our provider. for just we want it's something. The Printful is taking too long to get there. We're just switching it up. So the merch store is currently in a transition phase. It's transitioning. So, but you can still purchase Turtle Club subscriptions on this. So thank you, Suzanne. And Christy appreciates my balls. I appreciate that. Anyway, okay, cool. So yeah, the merch store should be up and running in a couple days. Again, we'll be back, promise. And we'll okay. And last turtle chat here from Danielle, $25. It says also clearly Bukkake prepped Jen McCabe. Notice how he apologized a few times and also said seeing the report doesn't refresh his memory. Also, what about when AJ asked about why he met with some of them and he started to make sure they were on the same and caught himself? He also said he went to McCabe's to interview JM, SM, and BA because they were the first eyewitnesses to discover John O'Keefe. Like what? Okay, thank you, Danielle. All right, cool. Anyway, guys, it has been a... Oh, Lally wants not guilty. That would make sense. NG, that makes sense. Yeah. I don't think Lally cares either way. I never read your turtle chat, Emily. Let me double check. Is there one from you? Do I see the name Emily on here? I like to read. I don't want to miss any turtle chats. They're very important. Hold on. So you're going to have to tell me what name you used, Emily, because I don't see anyone by the name Emily on here. Unless you cash at me. Did you cash at me? I just got another cash app from Melissa. Sends $25 and says, word count, thumbs down. Mom was sheriff, has fought 10 year. No fucking clue what any of that means, but thank you very much for the $25. I appreciate that. So Emily, I don't see any turtle chats under your name, so I have nothing to read. But anyway, cool. All right. Anyone else got anything before we call it a night? All right, guys. Well, I'm going to call it an evening then. I love all you fine people. Same time tomorrow. See some witnesses. If it's the kids, we got nothing to watch because they're not going to fucking film that shit, which is bullshit. Because, I mean, this is a goddamn murder trial, not a Chuck E. Cheese birthday party. Like, if you testify at this, you should be on fucking TV. No one's going to hurt the kids. No one's going to dox the kids. There's not going to be semen everywhere. I know they like to make it seem that way, but, you know, is what it is. But anyway, I am going to watch the Celtics tomorrow, even though we're fucked. But after that, we'll do the show, all right? 𝗵𝗵 𝗧𝘂𝗺, Turtle Riders.
It calls for data including calendars, alerts, reminders, notes, text messages, pictures, or videos from April 1st, 2023 through and including October 5th, 2023. 7 months